Good evening, gamers. It is time to rim the sky, or also known as SKYRIM Sunday. Welcome in, gamers. My tits. I wasn't sure, deadass. I'm gonna be so real with you. I was not sure if there was going to be a stream today, because as many of you know from the Discord, League of Legends Finals was yesterday, or actually today, at 3 in the morning. And you bet your fucking ass I messed up my sleep schedule so I could watch League Finals. I know, League player, boo, tomato. But I was fucked up. I had a lesson to teach at 3:30. I got out of bed at 2 p.m. Thank you, David. Thank you. Yep, there it is. I know, but my team won. So I literally felt like absolute fucking garbage when I was, when I woke up. Just what I like to say, boo! But, I literally felt like garbage when I woke up, and like, not sponsored, but like, I literally thought I was going to die, but then I drank a Celsius and I was like, oh, this is fine actually. I even went to the gym still. I was even thinking about skipping the gym, but I didn't. The grind never stopped. So with that being said, let me get game up. I actually am ready for once, although not entirely ready because my starting screen soon took fucking forever, but that's okay. Nobody's perfect, as our Lord and Savior Hannah Montana says. But oh, no more glasses. Oh, that's the hat button. There we go. Okay, now you get to see my stupid little eyes in 4K. But we are going to get on to SKYRIM Sunday. Last time, what happened was I accidentally started a quest. I don't know how I managed to start a quest on accident, but I did. I really was just kind of fucking around and I found out. But very beautiful night sky we have going on here. But welcome in, everybody. Hello. I'm so glad you are here to spend some time with me, rimming the sky together. Mwah. Okay? So we are doing the Falskaar quest, and this is a really popular quest mod. But I actually just haven't done it. I guess like I never got around to it. You know what I mean? I just kind of wandered around, and now I'm here. So I don't remember a ton. We are kind of stuck in Falskaar, so we have to talk to this guy about how to get back to SKYRIM, because I do have a fair amount of junk in my trunk. I can eat with a bear, but can I eat a tomato? I wish, like, okay, there are people that do custom, like, things for tits, and I don't know how to put them in, but if I find a way to get a custom tomato in there, I will absolutely let you guys specifically pelt me with tomatoes as if I'm like a fucked up court jester. Yes, perfect. Do you have the relic storage spell? I don't think I do, actually. I'm not sure how to obtain that. So we have a lot of junk in our trunk, so I do want to get back to SKYRIM and unload our toad in the museum, but this is very pretty. So basically, there's something going on with the monks, and I don't entirely remember, but I'm sure we will, like I said, fuck around and find out. So we're gonna talk to the Jarl first and see what's going on, but we've been exploring a little bit.
I hope you're keeping out of trouble.
I'm trying. Who built the portal?
We aren't really sure. Its location
He's
would
so
obviously
chiseled,
suggest
by
that
the way.
Dwemer
This
people
man,
built it.
drop
But
your
there's
skincare
little
routine,
evidence to
bestie.
prove.
I need to know.
We've seen no signs of this kind of
Got
technology
snacks?
in
Hell
other ruins.
yeah! Get
So
your snacks.
we can't do much
Get
beyond
your
speculate.
meds. Get your
The skulls in Weizermannstadt were potentially
beverages.
but none of the research
Ahoy, feral women. Hello.
So
Well,
we
welcome in,
scratch.
everybody.
Due to
What's
the
going
continuous
on?
conflict in the land, researching the portal further simply hasn't been something
That
we've
manly
focused on
man
yet.
voice.
Perhaps someday though.
He really does. Like, look at his face, bro. Like, I don't know. He looks like, how do I describe this? He looks like a yaoi protagonist. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like someone where, like, never mind.
It's a dangerous world.
But
these
welcome
days.
in, everybody. All right.
careful out
So
there.
I will do my best. Like, look at his hands. He got the fucking yaoi hands. Okay. All right. Let's go. Yeah. Okay. Let's go over here. Handsome Jack. He does kind of look like Handsome Jack. I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna say something controversial yet brave. I usually like. I'm not super into super, like, muscular, like, chiseled guys. I don't know if it's just because, like, I'm a little bitch, but, like, when I see guys that are like super jacked, I always afraid they're gonna make fun of me. But something I've realized as a certified thick bitch, turns out a lot of the gym guys that I thought would be like mean to me and make fun of me actually think I'm really hot, which confused me, right? Because I'm like, why would they find me, a thick bitch, right, with the thighs of the gods? Why would they find me attractive when they're trying to like be skinny legends? But I've had quite a few people hit on me at the gym, and I'm like, huh. And I saw someone on Twitter talk about it, and they're like, no, they're pre-ordering a baddie. And I was like, that's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, they're just there to be like, damn, once the cut's gonna be crazy, you know? I don't know, but like, that's the thing is, the jacked guys at the gym, like, everyone at my gym is really nice, but I have had experiences at other gyms where people are kind of mean, and it's like, the gym bros are either the nicest people on the fucking planet, like, they'll, like, stop everything to help me figure out, like, machines, they'll spot me and shit, or they, like, give me the most bombastic side eye on the planet. So I'm really happy with the gym I go to now, but, like, that's the thing, is sometimes the gym bros are kind of, like, they're kind of into me, and I don't entirely get it. I don't know, but, you know. Anyway, but that's what I did today. I slept for like 13 hours, ate some celery, and went to the gym. So if you're thinking, Evie, you shouldn't just eat celery, you're right. So stream is short today. It's because I forgot to eat fucking dinner like an idiot. But anyway, let's go talk to the Jarl and see what's popping. I still can't get over this sky. This is so fucking gorgeous. And the leaves, like, oh, do you ever want to just like, bro, I need to fuck the environment. Why is it so hot?
Need something?
I just said I need to fuck the sky. Goddamn. Okay. But let's talk to him and see what the fuck is up. So, this is like, it seems like it has, yeah. Okay, I remember. It has everything we need. You know what I mean? It has like the blacksmith. I think it has a potion shop and a general store. So we can sell some shit. You know what I mean? So like, we won't necessarily need to go back to Skyrim immediately. But we'll get there. You know, we'll get there. But welcome in, everybody. All right, here we go. Wake up, Mr. Jarl. I need to speak to you. With actually successful people, the trash talk only comes from the jealous. That's, honestly, yeah. I feel like I agree. The more humble you are, the more I trust you. I guess it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Anyway, wake up.
What did Brother Thorlo have to say?
It'll never, I know that it happens every time. I know that it happens every time, but it will never not be funny to me when Skyrim NPCs wake up and are just like, hello! Because deadass, if I was this man and this random woman just comes in and started like talking to me at fucking 4 in the morning, I think I'd snap her neck. I think I would break each and every one of her legs. Like, I don't think I'd be that chill about it. The monks know nothing. They won't help us unless Invar directly instigates war. Oh, great.
Unless he instigates war. He sent men to kidnap and interrogate one of our people.
Oh.
And he blankets the land with his mercenaries. Is that not a declaration of war? Very well.
The Jarl is kind of hot. He's kind of fine. I'd smash.
Their help.
I'd smash.
For now, I need you to do something else for me. Bandits have overrun
I like the cadence of his voice.
And have cut off
you know what I mean?
SKYRIM.
Like, I need you to do something else for
Go
me.
to the
I don't know
docks
why, but it
and
makes
kill
me
all
happy.
the bandits.
Okay.
Then talk to Hendrik. He runs the trade store there.
Yeah, I'd smash. I'd
Ask him
smash.
if he learned
Would?
anything
Would.
helpful while the bandits were there.
We need a mod that shows realistic reactions to getting woken up. Murder. No, I agree. Listen, I don't know. You know what mod I actually genuinely want? And I don't know if this is stupid or it probably already exists. I want cooking. I want a cooking skill tree, okay? And I know there's like mods like this and I just haven't found them yet. I just want to like, can I just play Skyrim like off stream and like just cook little pies and shit? Like, I don't want to do, like, I need to have, like, an off-stream save or something. Gourmet! Yeah! I just want to make little pies. No violence. Just let me have my, I want to play Stardew Valley in Skyrim. Does that make sense? Like, I love the environment in Skyrim, and like, I genuinely, when I was younger, used to play this game for like hours and hours and just disassociate. Like, it was dead-ass therapeutic, you know what I mean? I just want to play Stardew Valley in Skyrim. I think that would be very, very fun. Once I get my VR set up and I can play this in VR, oh, it's fucking over. It's fucking over. You would smash the dirt. No, I do have standards. They're like, they're not low. They're like, medium. Listen, I've said it before and I've said it again. If you're nice to me, if you are kind, I am not hard to rizz up. And that's okay. That's fine. But, you know. VR, I hope you don't get sick easily. So, wait, what? Oh, thank you? Thank you? I did not even notice. Okay, thank you, Lydia. I appreciate it. I watch a stream of Evie running a Skyrim bakery. I think it'd be cute, and I love baking in real life. I used to do cooking simulator. I used to do cooking simulator a lot, but I only did the baking cooking simulator. But it made me really happy, you know? I don't know why. I just like making little cakes and cookies and shit, you know? I've tried VR once, okay? And the reason here's the thing, is like, I'm working on getting my full body 3D model tracking set up. I've tried VR a total of 1 time, and it did make me sick, but I think I can get over that. You know what I mean? So, like, my goal is I want to start doing VR Skyrim streams, because I think that would be very fun. I have a 3D model that's complete. I just need to get the trackers and stuff like that, so I'm still saving up to get the trackers and everything. I want to do VR Skyrim, because, like, I gotta, you know? Skyrim's, like, my thing. I gotta, you know? But I also, like, okay, this is something completely unrelated to anything, okay? I fucking love Half-Life. I love Half-Life so much. It was, like, my first, like, okay, like, I always played games growing up as a kid. Yeah, that's my question of the day to you. What was, like, your first, like, game, like, real game that you played? And I feel like that's, like, a controversial statement to say, like, your first real game, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't know. Like, for me, I guess it's, like, don't get me wrong. Not the...
I'll have to gut you.
Shut up! You're cringe.
Coming here will be the last mistake you ever make.
Listen, I don't wanna talk shit on Barbie Horse Adventure Mystery Ride, but I don't entirely consider it like I don't consider it the same level as like Half-Life or Skyrim. You know what I'm saying? So like when I was growing up, I played a lot of games like that. And it was Half-Life that was my first big boy game that my dad showed me. And I fucking love that game. And I have this very like visceral memory of playing original Half-Life, and I played through all the games within like 3 months, I think. And I remember finishing episode 2, and I remember turning to my dad and being like, "What happens in episode 3?" And he just looked at me, just took a deep breath, and he went, EB, there is no episode 3. And I cried so hard, I threw up. So I have been waiting for Half-Life 3 for a very long time. And many people have told me, give it up, EB. It's not coming. It's not coming. But I'm not giving up, okay? So part of the reason I have a VR setup and I got a 3D model is because I really want to stream. I streamed Black Mesa way back when, and I kind of want to replay it. Just like for shits and giggles, you know, because it's been so long since I played it. Like I had like I wasn't even this model. I didn't even look like this when I played it. It was like back in 2020. And what I want to do is I want to like, how do I say this? I want to for one, I want to play Half-Life Alyx, okay? Because Half-Life Alyx got really good reviews, but I think VR just wasn't as accessible. I mean, VR still isn't super accessible, honestly. And I think that's why, like, no one was talking about it, okay? But here's the thing, okay? Right before, and part of this is because Half-Life's 25th anniversary is coming around. I think it actually did happen. But, like, this might be me being slightly insane, but hear me out, okay? I also might kill myself on accident, so just bear with me, okay? I'm very passionate about Half-Life, so I might kill myself on accident. But anyway, right before Half-Life Alyx came out, all the Half-Life games went on sale on Steam, and Half-Life, like the OG Half-Life, was free, okay? And you know what they just did? They just put all the Half-Life games on sale, and the original Half-Life is free. And I know that people will say that the 1998 Half-Life doesn't hold up well. I don't care. Play it. It's fun. I think it holds up just dandy. Go play it. It's so fun. And I'm biased. Yes, I grew up with it, but like, just trust me, okay? Just trust me, bro, okay? But I'm just saying, I feel like, and there is a company that owns the movie rights for Half-Life. I'm just saying, there is a chance. Oh, hey, there is a chance that we could get new Half-Life content. Like, here's the thing, right? It's unfathomable to me, or unfathomable. I don't fucking know how to speak English. The idea, oh, can I kill that? Do you think I can kill a mammoth? Sorry, I didn't take my ADHD medicine today. This stream's gonna be off over the fucking place. But, ooh, purple. The sky was like orange and now it's purple. Anyway, I literally think that like there's no way they would just drop Half-Life Alyx and then just leave us with that. You know what I mean? I don't think that would happen. Okay? All right. I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm simply gonna walk away. Cause like, don't get me wrong. I'm not the biggest fan of Lydia, but I'm not gonna like try to get her killed. I'm not that mean. Okay? But oh, yeah. Just look both ways before you cross the road, Lydia. Okay, I guess we're doing this. See, I wasn't the one that aggroed the mammoth. That was all Lydia. That was all her. Okay, that was not me. That was not me. Okay, listen. That was all her. Okay, that's not me. That is not me. Oh boy. Okay, I need to actually do shit. Every time, this entire playthrough, I love this character. I love this character so much. But I'll be so real with you. This entire playthrough, I haven't done shit. I haven't done fuck shit. I just spawn my little guys and I just sit back and I chill and we talk, okay? But I need to actually do shit. Blood gift. I don't have any skellies right now. That's the other problem. So I should probably have a shout equipped. Can I do anything? Fornicate is not the answer right now. I say this every time, but it's like extra not the answer right now. I mean, I guess I can just like, I don't know if it's gonna do anything. I mean, it might slow him down. Like, it's something, you know what I mean? Does that mean you're excited for the potential new VR Half-Life that will probably come out? That's what I'm thinking. Like, me and my dad have talked about this extensively. Our theory, for the longest time, is that the world simply, oh shit. Oh, fuck. The world is not ready for Half-Life 3. Okay, that is my dad's ongoing theory, is that the world just is not ready for it yet. And one day it will be, but not yet. Oh, fuck. Okay, we have done a fucky wucky. Is Lydia still alive? I have no fucking idea. I genuinely have no idea if Lydia is still alive. If Lydia dies, y'all cannot get mad at me, okay? I simply walked across the street and everything was fine. Lydia was the one that started shit. So if she dies, that's not me, okay? That is not me, and I don't want to hear it, okay? I don't want to fucking hear it. All right, motherfucker. God damn it, why didn't I take my ADHD meds today? Oh, shit. I did not kill Lydia. She killed herself. That doesn't have anything, her death has nothing to do with me. Oh, boy. Oh, shit. Oh, there she goes. Here, okay, see, look, I don't want her to die. Watch, I'm gonna heal her. I'll heal her, okay? See?
You won't get the best of me.
There you go, Lydia. Pop off, queen. Oh god. Okay, I need more soup. I need more soup. We do not have enough soup. I think I do have a potion where I can use my life to, god damn it. Okay, she's okay. Where is it? I have a spell that'll let me use my blood to turn it to, I think I do at least. Cast a transfer 10 points of health per second from the cell. Yeah, here you go. Oh no, that's right. It has to be undead. Shit. Hi lady, hi gamer. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day, gamer. I hope you've been kicking ass and taking names. Is she essential? Debatable. Cause because that's the thing, is I have healing hands, but I'm out of soup. Like, you can't see it because my fat ass is blocking it, but I have no magicka. So I swear to God, I have a spell. I just need to find it where it's like transfer, yeah, it has to be an undead, I think. Heals the caster, heals a living target from themselves to an undead target. Yeah, Lydia's not undead. How's the gaming of the Skyrim? Well, it was going fine. And then bitch ass Lydia, doesn't know how to cross the fucking road. And she accidentally angered all these fucking people. Oh my God. I'm just saying, if Lydia dies, it's not my fault and I don't want to hear it. Okay, that was not my fault. And I don't want to hear it. That's all I'm saying. Okay, come on. Get his ass. At the very least, oh shit. Is she not gonna explode? There we go, okay. Oh boy, this is not, okay, do I have any other summons that might be better? Because the thing is, yeah, summons a Dremora, like this one's good, but the thing is when it's killed, it's summoned under the control of the killer. I do not want to give mammoths and giants the power to control this bitch. Can't you just change her to essential? See, I could, but that's the coward's way out. Who's the Mist Man? Who the fuck is the Mist Man? Reanimate a dead body. Soul Split. Conjure Zombie. Who's the Mist Man? I kind of want to see who the Mist Man is. Who the fuck is the Mist Man? Oh, I'm out of soup. Okay, we're gonna stall, and then we're gonna find the fucking... Okay, where's the Mist Man? Save me, Mist Man! Ah, shit. Okay. That's the Mist Man! Okay, pop up, Mist Man! Yeah! Go, oh. Okay, I'm thinking that maybe these are the answer. Okay, and you know what? Do I have any other weapons I can use? Ah, shit. Staff of Vipers. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Okay, it does 2 damage. Okay, this is... I did not think we would have a combat moment like this tonight, but, here we are. Lydia, you fucking cunt! I swear to God! Okay, he's almost dead. He's almost dead. Okay, do we have anything else that's not ass? Because this is kind of ass, I'm gonna be honest. No. Okay. You know what? We're just gonna keep poisoning. Yeah, it does do poison damage over time at least. Okay, unlock so I can run. There we go. Do I have any more magicka potions? Because I thought I had a spell. It might have been in a different playthrough. But I thought I had a spell that let me transfer my life to magicka. But I guess... We are so fucked. Okay. Okay, just be poisoned. Be poisoned. It's something. Okay, I gotta run. Oh, no. Okay, alright. Go away! Okay, that did nothing. Alright, we only have... Okay, it could be in a bit... Do I have any powers that might help me here? Yeah, maybe praying is the option. Maybe that's what I need. Taunt them? Taunting your... How do I taunt my enemies? What's gonna happen if I... Okay, you've been taunted. Get taunted, idiot! Okay. That's something. Put another dude over there. Yes! Okay, he's almost dead. Let me... Okay, he's dead! That's one! Okay! Taunt means they focus on you? Ah, shit! Okay, can we get 2? Come on! Fuck him up! Okay, this is almost dead. Okay, my staff is fucked. Go back to, ice, I guess. I don't fucking know. Okay, alright! That's 2! Okay. Now it's just the mammoths. Alright, come on. Another one! Okay, and then just, here. Oh, I didn't mean to taunt. Fuck, I thought I had my shout. Okay, okay, being attractive is not gonna help me here. Unless, no. Okay, there we go. Okay. Come on, Vanya, you can do it! Oh, okay. Oh, she's still standing! Let's go, Lydia! Let's go! Okay. Here. Stay alive! Stay alive! Wait, no, I didn't! God damn it! No! I think I healed the mammoth. Okay, Lydia's fine. Lydia's fine. Come on, I'm trying to focus you, Lydia! Live! Live! Don't die on me now, you stupid cunt! No! Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Cheese? Cheese. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Okay. Drink up. Okay, come on, Lydia. You got this, girly pop. You got this. Okay, he's almost dead. You know what? Fine. Stealth archer time. Except there's no stealth, only violence. Hey! Hey, big guy! Do you like blondes? Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. Oh, my God, there's so many. What? One more. Come on. Die! Please! Die! Pass away! Come on! Oh my God, he's so thick! There we go! Okay. Oh my God. We don't need the mammoth tusk. You know what? Fine. I will just eat an entire cheese wedge to... Okay. Lydia, are you alive? Lydia? Okay, there's the giant. Oh, God. I am not abusing enchanting. I am playing the game as it was meant to be played. Oh, she's still alive. Oh, Lydia, you beautiful bastard. Oh, my God. Okay, we're good? Since when the fuck do you know magic? I'm not complaining, but... Okay. Are you good? Are you good?
Yes, my lady?
Okay. Okay.
Do let me know if I can be of service.
You know what? I talked mad shit about you, but you know what? You're doing fucking fantastic. Holy shit. Welcome in, everybody. Sorry if I missed anyone, but there was a lot happening, and I was afraid, and I have too much junk in my trunk. Okay, Lydia, come here. You did such a good job. I need your ass.
Yes, my
lady?
lady?
I need you to put all of this shit in your ass. Okay. Jesus
Here's
Christ.
everything I have.
Thank you. Yeah, well, since when do you have a staff of firebolts? When the fuck did that happen? Alright, can you just, yeah, hold that. Hold that. Hold that. Yeah, we should be good for now. You just hold on to that.
Is there anything else you need?
No, we're good. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I didn't know she could use staffs either. I try to, like, with followers, I try not to change them too much because I like them to be, like, the way they're meant to, if that makes sense. Vanya, what are... Wait. Where are her arms? Do you see this? Where the fuck are her arms? Her fucking arms are gone. Where are her arms gone? Save and reload? Okay. I'm just like, damn. What a day. What a day. Okay, let's... Thank you, Crummy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. It's a bug when you're in combat and loot. Oh, okay. This is her life now. She's a fucking Barbie doll. And I pulled her arms off of her. Oh, you know what? It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's cool. It's chill. Arms, we don't need them. Where we're going, we don't need arms. What happens when yeah, because her hands are showing in first person. It'll come back at some point, I believe. Desktop and reload. Okay, we'll do that. Let's see. Save. Quit the desktop. Oh, Satan! Thank you so much for the 5 gift subs, gamer. Oh my god, thank you for giving out the PlayStations. I appreciate that. Thank you. Maybe with the money from the gift subs, we'll be able to get Vanya's arms back. Thank you, though. That's like jokes aside. That's really, really kind of you. Thank you, gamer. I did thank Satan. Satan's nice to me. Okay. Don't talk shit about my boy Satan. Satan's nice to me. Okay. All right. Let's give this another try. Have you guys ever seen the old ass YouTube series with all I require in return is your soul? Yeah, that's cool. I'm fine. I mean, I don't really have much of one to begin with, but like if you're cool with that, then like yeah, sure, that's fine. Have you guys seen this old ass YouTube series called The Most Popular Girls in School? Because there was a scene from that where a girl got her arms ripped off. And I can't stop thinking about that. But the thing is, it sounds really bad that they ripped her arms off. But they're like, the series is literally stop motion Barbie dolls. So it's like they rip her arms off, but it's the funniest shit. If you have not seen Most Popular Girls in School, highly recommend it. Very good, like older YouTube series. If I can find the clip, I'll send it to you guys in the Discord because it's. Oh my god. She looks like fucking Deandra from Most Popular Girls, bro. Okay. I'm gonna load the game. I'm manifesting. I'm gonna open the game. And there's gonna be arms. Arms. You have arms. Oh my god! It's a Christmas miracle! You got your arms back! Yay! Thank you, Krami. That's one of those things where, like, here's the thing, right? Everyone in VTubing is like, okay, Scuff is just part of the experience, right? Scuff is just part of being a VTuber. But when things, like, not to sound like a cunt, when things don't go my way, I get so mad. So thank you for telling me how to fix that, because I would have been low-key so pissed if for the entire stream this bitch had no arms. Oh my god. Congrats on having your arms, bestie. Big moment for you. What the fuck was I doing? What were we talking about? Right, we're speaking with this guy, and we're talking about getting passage to Skyrim. We're going back to town after defeating the bandits. That's what I need to do. Let me make sure both of these actually are enabled. Yeah, I think yeah, okay. We're good. Okay, so, but anyway. What the fuck were we talking about? Deadass. I feel like sometimes when I do streams where the quests are really simple, it really just is a glorified just chatting stream with Skyrim in the background. It's like, did you want to unload your stuff? I did. I already put my shit inside of Lydia. So we should be good. But I feel like sometimes these streams are just glorified just chatting streams. Like, it's just me talking and the Skyrim is essentially just like Subway Surfers in the background. But that's okay. Oh, shit. Okay. Listen, I just killed like 3 giants and 3 mammoths. You literally do not faze me. Okay. Let's go. And you know what? I like Blood Drain because it's part of her character. Like, her whole thing is she's a blood mage, but oh my god, it does no fucking damage. Give it your best shot. So, like, are you guys...
Die already.
What are you guys doing? Oh, that guy! Oh, we need to save that guy. Don't kill that guy. No, don't kill him. Don't kill him. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, Mr. D, thank you so much for the sub, gamer on YouTube. I appreciate it. Oh, watch stream. Wow, congratulations, Top. Thank you for watching my stream. I appreciate it. I don't entirely know what that means, but I appreciate it. I think it just means you watched my stream, which is thank you, gamer. I wish I knew how to read. That'd be great. But how am I doing? Well, I'm gonna go with okay. There's a higher level blood drain. Yeah, I need to find it because like her whole shtick is I want her to. She's a blood mage, but she's not a vampire. She's just doing really fucked up shit on me. Like that's her thing, right? She's just being a little silly and committing magic war crimes. But you know that's how it be sometimes. Stop being alive. Stop it. Okay, I think some of these people. Oh shit. Some of these people are friends, so I need to be careful about who I kill, because some of them are in fact friends. Okay, like you're a friend. That's Wolf. Oh, wait, are you guys...
Prepared to die.
Wait, why are they hitting each other? They're both...
Give you that one.
Okay, alright, anyway, I'm just gonna hijack.
Are you serious?
Posture check. I'm gonna let... Oh, wait, why the fuck is there a child? Bro! What the fuck? Huh?
You think you stand a chance? I'm leaving.
No, you're not. You're
Oh,
dying.
it's done.
What the fuck was... Oh my god, where did you people come from? Are you good? You can just leave them? That's so fucked up. You can just leave them? Here, no. Be free, little man. Are you good? Untie. Well, you looked untied already. Untie. Jesus Christ, bring your kid to work there. Stop. Oh my god. She seems friendly. Okay, that was a lot. There was a lot happening there. Is everyone okay? Everyone good? Are we good? Good? Okay. Okay. You good? Untie all captives first. Who still needs to be untied? Did I not untie everyone? They will be who let you use the boat. Oh, it's the boat family guy. Okay. Hey. You're a wolf, right?
What's the hurry?
What? Where are the other captives? Hold on. Is it Henrik? Is that the guy I'm missing? Oh, shit. Oh. Hey, buddy. There you go. Okay. Have I untied all the captives? That ocean looks cool as fuck, though. All right. Hi, Henrik.
Thank you for what you did.
No
We were
problem.
getting ready to make a move. I couldn't let them do anything to Freya or Galen. Please,
Real.
accept this. It's the least I can do.
Thanks. Do you know anything about the bandits that were here?
Actually, yes I do. They were staying in the Hjalmar Armory, just northwest of here. You're looking for them, aren't you?
Yeah.
Here, let me mark it on your map for you.
Thanks, man. Can you tell me anything about the coast?
Alright, if you insist. It's mostly covered in ruins, and hollow reminders of this land's dark past.
Ooh.
There's the old lighthouse, supposedly haunted.
This land is so
Dragonbone Perch
sick and
from the time of the
twisted.
dragons,
Like my inner
and Grimrock
demons.
Grotto, where pirates used to birth. Until the mountain shifted and it collapsed, sinking the fort above and trapping the men inside. They say the crew still roams the caverns inside.
I like
And
my
last, there's the ruins
my
of
little
Hope,
lady just like
an
popping
ancient
off
Nordic
in the
fishing
background.
village. Gods know how they survived living.
Like,
on
why
coast
did
like
they
that.
make the flame Atronarchs, however the fuck you say it? Why'd they make them so cunty? Like, who do I think's gonna win RuPaul's Drag Race? This bitch. This bitch right here. Like, why is she so cunty? That makes no sense. How fucked up would it be to ask, like they just got tied up and, hi, Bumba! We serving fiery cunt. We are always serving fiery cunt, but thank you so much for the 9 PlayStations, gamer. I appreciate it. No, but, like, how fucked up is it that, like you walk in, you kill a bunch of bandits, and you untie them, they're captive, and it's just like, anything interesting happen? That's kind of fucked up.
Besides you saving us from the bandits?
Yeah!
Which, thank you again for that.
No
If
problem.
you're looking for adventure, talk to Wolf. He's been going on lately about that lighthouse.
Okay.
There are stories about that place. Doesn't sound too
Welcome
good.
in,
Speak to
Boston.
Wolf
Hey,
if you're
man.
interested.
How do I get to Skyrim from here?
Skyrim? You'd need to
Our
take a
cunts
boat.
are always on
Wolf
fire.
has one
Damn
right here at the
straight.
docks. Talk to him about it. I'm sure you two can arrange something.
Okay. How long have you and Freya been married? Give me your lore.
A long time now. We got married almost 10 years ago, and had Galen shortly afterwards. Our anniversary's coming up
Oh,
soon. I do need
congrats!
some help getting Freya's gift. I don't suppose you'd be willing to give me a hand, would you?
Yeah! I want to help out.
Good. You look like the kind of person who may enjoy what this entails. I want to get
I
Freya
am.
something
I
special
love
for
help.
our
I
10th year
love
together.
love, bro.
Her mother used to always wear a brilliant sapphire necklace.
Aw.
A gift from her father. She wore it all the time.
That's so
When
cute.
we were just kids, her parents were killed by highwaymen.
Oh.
Her mother must have hidden the necklace because the bandits didn't take it.
Okay.
The guard gave Freya the necklace and she kept it close. However, the bandits must
This
have
is
figured
so
out she had
cute.
it because they broke in a few days later.
Listen,
and stole
I
it
know
from
that
her.
Skyrim,
Freya
a lot
had
of quests are
leftover
very
parents and it never
doom
was
and
recovered.
gloom, and everyone's
give
dead
Freya
or an
some of those
orphan or
memories
whatever.
back
This is
and make a
wholesome.
replica
Okay,
of
I
that
will
moment.
take this. This is
It won't be the real
wholesome.
thing.
I
but
like
think
it.
will mean just as much to her. Rengar
Aw.
of Ember Creek is capable of crafting such a fine piece.
Hell yeah.
However, I'll need a very special gem to do so. I need you to go to Grimrock Grotto and recover a priceless sapphire. Then take it to Rengar. He can
Okay.
then remake the necklace, and I can surprise Freya with it.
Hell yeah.
The tricky part is that the gem is believed to be guarded by the crew of the sunken ship.
I will kill people in the name of
They
love.
still walk the cave.
I do not give a fuck.
living
This is
anymore,
cute as shit.
if you
Tell me what
understand
you want me to launch the
do all this and
nukes
get me
so
the
you can
necklace,
like
it'll be
get your
forever
wife
in
an
the
anniversary
The problem
present.
is
I'll
down the
fucking
coast,
do it.
part of the way.
Okay? I do not give a shit. All right.
See ya.
Hi. Okay, that's super cute. So, since we have some new gamers with us, this is my obligatory tell you about my OC time. This is my OC. This is my OC. So, and also because if you're not in the Discord, you may not know. But I've been wanting to start writing again for a really long time, and I have a bunch of stories and a whole like book planned in my head and a whole D&D setting planned in my head with my OCs, and I finally started writing it. I'm not done chapter 1, but it's about like chapter 1's about like halfway done. So if you're subbed on Twitch, you can actually access what's available of chapter 1 about Vanya and some of my other OCs that we played on Skyrim Sunday in the past through the Discord. If you are not subbed, it will be coming out in the following weeks. I need to finish writing it, and then I have a few people helping me edit it. But this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, is write about my OCs, the people I play on Skyrim Sunday, and that is coming out. But basically, if you're new in town, this is our character, Vanya. She is the it girl. She is the moment. She is cunty. Her whole shtick is yes, you are the moment. Yes,
girl
hair
boss.
flip. Dragon Ray, thank you so much for the follow. You're not guessing you keep girl boss. I'm info dumping about my OC. But her whole shtick is she is a girl that was adopted into a noble family, a very, very powerful line of mages. And her whole thing is now that she's been adopted, she has the power of the world and knowledge at her fingertips. And she has been tasked with making a great discovery to carry on her family's line, even though she's adopted. And she made a great discovery about how you can use human blood and the human body as a source of casting magic. And her parents were like, why don't you come up with a different discovery? Because that's kind of fucked up. And so now she is on her own for the first time, saying she's gonna find another discovery, but she's actually doing a bunch of fucked up shit so she can pursue her dreams of using the human body and blood and viscera to obtain great power. So she's kind of an anti-hero. She's a very morally gray type character, but the first chapter is gonna be about her and her adoptive sister and how they met and how she kind of becomes what she is. So if you are interested in that, that is in the Discord if you're subbed, and it'll be posted in the Discord for everyone once it's done and edited and all that jazz. But she's also very cute, even though she commits war crimes. I support women's rights and women's wrongs. Anyway, this is actually kind of a cunty photo op, so let's actually do this real quick. Because this is cunt. Like right here, like I want to get a good, there we go. Oh yeah, okay, cunt. There you go. She is the ITGIRL. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm done. That's the thumbnail. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Let's talk to Wolf. Oh, excuse me, Lydia. Excuse me. Excuse me.
There's a storm coming. I feel it in my bones.
Lydia? I've been told you can take me to Skyrim.
Oi there, name's Wolf.
But
I'm
thank
the
you
captain
for
of the
watching
ship
my
docked here.
streams, Jingle. I
I wanted
appreciate
to thank
it.
you for helping out. Damned bandits snuck up on us. Now, I also wanted to offer to you the service of my boat.
Ah!
If you need to travel between Falskaar and Skyrim, as long as I'm in port, I'll take you. However, it won't be free. I wish it could be, but travel simply costs
500
too
gold?
much these days. It'll be
I
500
guess that
gold
makes
a trip.
sense.
I know it's a bit steep, but I'll shift my schedule for your convenience.
How much gold do I have right
That's
now?
all right.
Yeah,
It's the best I
honestly,
can
Lydia, do you want to fuck this
The
man?
trip takes less
You
than a
guys would
day.
look cute
Just
together.
hop on the boat whenever you need
He
to go. and
he
I'll
looks
take
like he
you.
needs a nice, strong,
You can
independent
even have the
woman like
top bunk.
Lydia. You may now for a fee use the trapdoor on Wolf's boat and Falskaar. Okay.
Safe travels.
How much money do I have? I have so much money, but like, I think I'm not gonna do it yet. Once me and Lydia's inventories fill up, then I'll consider it. But 500 gold's a lot. Like, not to be a bitch, but like, and like, I get that he needs to make a living. I get it, but I think we can wait for a little bit. We'll hold off a little bit longer. She is pegging distance. She is. So let's go to yeah, let's do some of the other Falskaar quests. Let's, where are we going first? Search the armory. Get the sapphire. I want to get the sapphire first. Like I said, I know it's like kind of like, listen, I know there's more badass quests we can do, but I absolutely do want to go and find a sapphire for someone's anniversary gift. However, the armory's closer, so we'll do this first and then we'll head over to the sapphire. But I'm liking everything with Falskaar so far. It is very pretty. I like the environments a lot. The characters seem pretty cool. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying it. I still don't know how I've never played this mod. Like, this and Worm's Tooth are like two big quest mods that I just never played. I know, wasn't Worm's Tooth taken off Nexus for a time though? Because I remember always hearing about it, but I could never like find it. You know what I mean? Is Worm's Tooth back on Nexus, or am I insane? Because I feel like Worm's Tooth was taken off Nexus for a time, but I could totally be misremembering. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Hey fellas, you guys just do that, and I'll do my thing. You do your thing, I'll do my thing, and mind my business. Thank you. But yeah, it is very pretty. I like the sky. Like, I don't know why, and I know it's like this everywhere, but we've gotten like very pretty skies while we're over here, you know? Okay, let's head over here. We'll do our thing. The wolves will die to my ladies. A pizza and a pasta. And there's Lydia. Okay, she's keeping up. She's keeping up. It's in the collection. Wasn't it, I feel like before I played the collection, I tried to download it and I couldn't find it, you know? Oh, hello, Mr. Deer. All right. Here's the armory. Let's see what we can find. Yeah, this is like, there's lots of pretty little like lakes and shit. All right. Okay. Whee! Is there any like bandits over here? Are you a bandit? Yup, okay. Glad we answered that question. Come here. Let me kill you. You're so cold and chilly. You're so chilly willy. Get fucked. You're so chilly willy. Why are they like moaning? Do you hear that? She wasn't like, oh, she was like, what? Don't clip that. don't clip that. But like, did you hear that? Just stop. No. Shut up. I'm literally killing you. Don't make me murdering you weird. Don't make it gay. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm gay, but like, no, don't clip that. It's okay. Listen, I've said, you know what? I think I've done worse shit than hentai moan on the internet. I'll be fine. I've said worse shit. Okay, stop being alive. Yeah, why are they? Do you hear that? Stop. No, don't kill me. I'm so sexy. Well, now I'm gonna kill you more because you said that. Fuck you. Are you gonna be normal?
You snuck that one in.
Okay, you're like kind of normal about me killing you.
Why won't you die?
Yeah, you. Okay. Can you please just be normal when I kill you? Like, fuck. Why they gotta make it weird? You know? Why they gotta make it weird? Okay. Anything up here? I think my homies are taking care of the rest. There's another one over there. Yeah, let's head up on the high place. There's like a name for, I don't know the names of things in castles. Like there's a name for like when there's like a high, like a, I don't know. I might have the stupid. Stop that.
Leaving.
Don't kick
So
shit.
soon.
Listen, I'm very open, you know. I don't want to yuck someone else's yum. I say that every stream, but like, there's got to be a line somewhere. Like, come on. Sure, it's just a boat from Salty Worms. We start with the military taking you to the island. Oh, yeah. That sounds vaguely familiar. That does sound familiar. Okay. Anything cool over here? I'll take that. Let's see. So the armory's over here. Let's clear this out just to do that. The more I think you want to. Listen. Okay, let's head over. Hi, stop being alive.
I'll try and make this quick.
Yeah, go in, Lydia.
One
Fuck
over
her up.
here.
Give up while you still
Why
can.
won't you die?
Yeah, they're fine. Just be slow. Be slow. Stop being fast. You're so chilly willy.
I am sorry that you left me.
There we
no
go.
choice.
All right. We're kind of just gonna swing our dick around here and clear this out. I'm not really concerned about stealth. I'm not really. They're like level 10. What level am I? Fuck, I have no idea. I'm level 16. Yeah, so like it's fine. I can just go out, dick swinging, and I'll be fine. See? What's up? You're so chilly. There we go. What's your favorite D&D class? Ooh, that's a good question. I haven't played D&D 5th edition in a while. I mostly play Pathfinder now. But it's hard because like my favorite D&D 5e character I ever played was a rogue. So like I'm biased to say rogue just because I like that character a lot. But in terms of mechanics, I had the most fun playing a warlock. And in Baldur's Gate, I really like playing a warlock. So it would probably have to be warlock or rogue. Rogue simply for the sentimentality. Is that a word? Is sentimentality a word? Well, it is a word. Okay, David confirmed it is a word. So like rogue for the sentimentality of that was my favorite character, and warlock for like how it plays. Warlock was really fun to me. I had a warlock named Callista, and her whole bit was she was like a girl boss business lady, and then she fucked her patron. So there was that. There was a lot going on there. But she was the most fun. She was one of my favorites to play just because, like, I know it's basic as fuck. I love Eldritch Blast. I think Eldritch Blast is a fun spell, and I think it should be used all the time, every time. Being a magic sugar baby. Yeah, exactly. She took being a magic sugar baby to the extremes, okay? She did that, okay? She did that, okay? I could talk all fucking day long about my OCs, but that's why I'm like, I'm so glad I'm finally writing out my shit, because I'll be honest, for the longest time, I just like, do any of you guys like, for my bitches that like creating original characters, do you guys just like ever listen to music and walk around and disassociate and like think of music videos in your head for your OCs? Because I do that a lot. Like literally half the reason people ask me, they're like, why do you do so much cardio when you're at the gym? It's because I like to disassociate and just think about my OCs and then run. Like that's literally what I do at the gym. Like David will be like, how'd you stay at the gym for like an hour? And I'm like, I was just thinking. I was big thinking. So like I finally have started writing it. Cause like, and I've told you guys this before, but I used to like, I don't know, I hate like, I don't know, I low-key, like, not to be a hater, I hate having ADHD. I used to be able to, like, I feel like my ADHD got worse as I got older. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to be able to write, like, I would literally stay up until, like, 4 in the morning when I was in middle school. And I would write, like, 30 pages a night, maybe more than that. I was going crazy, like, 10,000 words per day, you know? And now, as an adult, I'm like, oh my god, what did I write last night? I wrote like 5 pages last night, and afterwards, I was like, whew, you know, I was whipped. I was like, god damn, but I don't know. I'm trying to like force myself to get back into it. I'm forcing myself to get back into hobbies that I kind of neglected, and I'm happy because like, stream gives me an outlet for it, you know, because like with stuff like composing, I got back into composing because I wrote my own the BGM that you hear. I've talked about this before, but a lot of people don't know. The BGM you hear, my starting soon and my BRB screens, I wrote that. I'm writing a new version of it for my re-debut. I'm doing like an orchestral rearrangement of my BGM to make it like really, really cool. For like all the characters that are gonna appear in my book, in my D&D setting, are from a lot of them I've played on stream in Skyrim, and it's given me like motivation for it, you know. So I really do hope you guys will consider reading the chapters and stuff as they pop up. And it's probably gonna be a while before it's like done, and stuff is gonna be like, please be nice to me. Keep in mind it's a very rough draft you're gonna be reading. But I really hope you guys like it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Because I haven't written anything in a while, but I'm really excited to be creative again, you know? And like that's the thing is like, I have a problem with being a workaholic. Like I am constantly working all day, all the time. And that's the problem with like with my job. I'm working with people in multiple different time zones. Bring on the Stevie bits. Okay, here's the thing. Have I been slightly inspired by all the slutty fantasy novels? Like, oh my god, I need to read more of them. But everyone's been telling me to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. Have any of you guys read that? Because everyone's been telling me to read that. Apparently it's really slutty fantasy shit. And like, I'm into that. So like, I'm debating, because my thing is like, here's the thing, don't get me wrong. I love porn. Like, like, okay, maybe I should have led with something different. But like, okay, here's the thing. I love reading spicy, smutty shit. Okay, I don't think I can write porn to save my life. I can write like gut-wrenching emotional scenes, but like, I don't know. I don't think I have it in me to write porn. Like, I've told you guys this before. I find the concept of sex silly. Like, I don't take anything seriously, and I think it like I don't know. Like, I've been reading, like I've told you guys this on another SKYRIM Sunday. I've been reading a lot of
shame you chose to
I've
come
been reading
here.
a lot of fan fiction lately.
Why won't you die?
And
Too
like,
soon.
it's good. I've enjoyed the I've been enjoying the fan fiction I've been reading. It's very gay and very horny. But like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't. And like, here's the thing. If if you choose to read my shit, which I would be very grateful if you did. But could you honestly take EEBEE'S written porn seriously? Like, knowing that I was the one writing it? Because I don't think you could. Like, I feel like I'm just like, I feel like it would read like you were reading it from like a 12-year-old. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know how sex works. I'm vaguely familiar with the concept, but like, I don't know. I feel like if I write it, it's just not. I don't know. I don't think I'm capable of writing horny shit. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can do it. I'm gonna like, maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll give it the good college try. But I don't know if I got it in me. Oh my god, did you see that? Why'd that bow go swinging? Jesus Christ. Listen,
Let me know if you have anything you need.
You know what? Well played, everyone. There's no way I can answer the following questions without looking bad. Well played. Well played. Okay, let me put more junk in your trunk, Lydia, because I'm stealing all of the things. Yeah, you take that, take that. Take just all of this. Is her inventory full now? How do I see what her inventory is? I think her inventory is full.
You lead, I'll follow.
Okay, so let's read. I think that's why. Did you see how like a bunch of stuff got great? Willow Winters color codes her books and has a grayscale from like. Wait, I love that though. I love books that are like. I don't know. I like when books look pretty. Like when you line them all up. I love having a bookshelf. Low key, having a bookshelf makes me feel so cool. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I love that shit. I love it. What does this say? All troops mobilize immediately. You are going to the docks, and stop. Wait, what's a good idea? Tell David to make you a burger with 2 grilled cheeses as buns. Hey, yo. David!
What?
Can you grill me a cheese?
I will not grill you a cheese.
Please?
No. We don't even have burgers anyway, so.
Can you grill me a regular cheese?
No.
Please?
No.
Can't have shit in this house.
That's right.
You forgot bread in the oven? I'm so sorry. Well, hey, now you have a free rock. Yippee! Oh, Sam, thank you so much for the sub to David. That's very sweet. You gave David a PlayStation. Have I only eaten celery today? Because, like, I'm all fucked up because I was up at, like, 3 in the morning, and I definitely ate while I was watching Worlds. I had French fry.
You had some leftover ribs.
I only ate, like, one of them because I didn't like how the taste of them when they were reheated.
Well, I'm gonna make spaghetti here in a second.
Can you grill me a cheese?
No, I'm making spaghetti.
But I want to grill cheese.
Well, I'm not making grilled cheese.
I guess I'm gonna starve.
I can grill you a cheese for dinner tomorrow.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Compromise.
Okay, so anyway, I do need carbs for muscle mass. I went so fucking hard at the gym today. I drank a Celsius. Okay, like literally, not sponsored. I do the like, have you ever seen like the 3, 12, 30 thing on TikTok where it's like 3 speed on the treadmill, 12 incline for 30 minutes, right? I do that shit all the time, but I'm a little chubby and I'm short. So I do like 2.5 speed, 5 incline for 30 minutes. But you know what I did today? I didn't even know my treadmill could go past 12 incline. I took a Celsius, I drank a Celsius, I did 18 incline. I was fucking going. My thighs, my calves, shit's gonna be toned, okay? I'm just, like, I'm not sponsored, but that shit, oh my god. When I drink a Celsius, I feel like I can fight God. Anyway, you need to capture the dogs and stop boats or shipments. Remember to keep an eye out for the objects. Univar wants us to find it, and if we do, there's a huge reward. Hold the dogs until you receive further orders. If refuge is needed, utilize Shumlar Armory to the northwest. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. We are probably gonna need to head back. Okay, Loki, Lydia looks so... She kind of looks sexy with the Warhammer. Like, I'm usually not a fan of Lydia, but something about the way she holds the Warhammer makes me feel a certain way. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but that's how I feel. Alright, let's find the Sapphire. And then I think we'll get out of here and head back to Skyrim. Just because we do have a lot of shit to unload. And I think Lydia's inventory is getting capped. So we'll need to pull that out. Let's go. When women can smash, EB wanna smash. I mean, you're not entirely wrong. I do like very strong women. I like women that can kick my ass. Where's the... Yeah, where did this... Yeah, because that opens that thing. But that just leads out, doesn't it? I need to find the Sapphire still. Is it over here? Falskaar hold? No, it has to be in here, so it gotta be somewhere... Gotta be somewhere else. Let me see. Maybe it's out over here somewhere? Let's see. Because I think the Sapphire is in here. We are in the armory place. Let's see. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit and see if it looks like I'm going in the right direction. Give Lydia a backpack? Oh, that's a good idea. I need to do that, actually. I'll have to buy an extra backpack when I have one. It could be on a body? Yeah, you're right. I very well could have missed it. We did kill a lot of people, so, you know. Unless maybe it's outside? That could also be it. Yeah, I think it's outside, actually. So, we probably could have gone that way, but it's okay. I'm gonna follow the quest marker and be a good noodle. Because if I don't, I'm gonna get all kinds of yeehawed, okay? Yeah, let's go back over. Oh, wait, no, it says common area of the armory. Is that where we came from? I think yeah, that is where we came from. So we are going backwards, but it's fine. It's whatever. We've already committed to the bit. What's over here? Did we open this door? I don't know if we opened this door. Oh, it leads to nothing. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just backtrack. It's cool. It's chill. Here we go. Alrighty, you can make a backpack with leather and corundum. Oh, I think I have that actually. I'll have to look when we're back home. So let's see. Show Agnar the orders. Retrieve the Sapphire. Do I have a fast travel to? Yeah. Let's go to the docks, and I do need to run an ad so Twitch doesn't get mad at me. I'm gonna take a brief break once we get back to Skyrim, just so I can get some water and get maybe a little snack before David makes me spaghetti. So we will be back in 3 minutes. So if you've been watching the stream since it started, this is your time to go get some water, to go get a snacky, use the bathroom, all that jazz.
Back to Skyrim then.
Do this real quick. Wait, what? Are you all right?
Well, actually, no, I'm not all right. I recently found something that's brought up a lot of questions.
Oh,
about
good.
some
Maybe
old
we're not
friends.
taking a break quite yet. Who were they?
2 friends of my parents. They ran the lighthouse a long time ago. Jana and Alvar were friends of my parents when my mother was pregnant with me. A long time ago.
Oh, wow.
They lived in the lighthouse and kept it running, guiding boats in during storms or dark nights. One day,
You need to use the
out of
trapdoor?
nowhere,
Okay,
they left on a
interesting.
trip to Skyrim. A few days later, they were supposed to return by boat, of course. That night,
The
there was
water
a
looks so
particularly
pretty, by the
nasty
way. I'm
storm,
sorry. I know I keep
and they never
simping
made
for
it home.
textures, but I just
After they weren't heard from for several
love
days,
me some good-looking
her
water.
husband went up to check on them to see if they were all right. He was never seen or heard from again, and so rumors arose about that place being haunted. As far as I know, nobody has stepped foot in that place since that guard, and that was damn near 50 years ago.
He eventually gives you a discount after you help him here. Oh, hell yeah. What has you so worried about this all of a sudden?
Well,
Hi,
it was all
welcome
ghost
in, gaming.
tales and bedtime stories, until recently. I was walking on the beach the other day, clearing my head before running a shipment to Skyrim, and I found something.
What did you
In
find?
a small dugout on the beach was a sack of old coins and a letter. These coins, the really old, must have been on that beach for ages, and the letter was from my
What's
parents.
more important, though? Water,
I think it belonged
graphics,
to
or
Jenna.
physics? Ooh.
Why would they hide something like
I
this
do
on the
like
beach?
big tits.
What happened to them?
Like, pretty
Now I really
ladies
wanna
in
find out.
Skyrim are probably... If I had to pick 3, right? Like
I would,
physics.
but I'm constantly running trips between
textures.
Falskaar and SKYRIM.
Well, I guess I'll follow water.
Being the only
I
tradesman
don't
left in
know.
this land doesn't
I like when
exactly
the land
leave
looks
me the
pretty,
free
but I
time
also
to go
like when
ghost
the
hunting.
wenches look pretty. You know what I'm
Plus,
saying?
what if
I like
giant
all
spirit
of it.
really haunts that place? I hate to ask it, so I'll leave it as more of a suggestion. If you were to take a look, I'd be in your debt. I've always wondered what really happened to them, so finding out would be nice.
Oh, water
Just be
graphics. I'll take
careful,
graphics over
and let me know if
physics.
you find out what happened to them.
Alright, I can do that. How can a place this pretty be so dangerous?
The coast may look docile and beautiful, but it's just as deadly as the rest of Falskaar. We don't have much lore from before our arrival.
Lore.
But what
I love
we
the
do have
word
refers
lore.
to this place as the Dread Coast. It used to shield the land from the Arctic winds, and was one of the most dangerous places on the entire island.
Ooh.
The shoreline is littered with sunken reminders of the treachery that lies behind those calm waves. It's so bad that I'm the only one who still runs a boat to SKYRIM, at least officially.
Officially.
The shores also serve
Those
as
are
an
like
inlet for
underground
swarms of bandits
Skyrim
in
boaters.
high plains,
Boaters? What's
ready
the
to
boaters?
pillage the land and take all that we have left.
Sailors.
But
That's
I'm
the word.
probably just making it sound worse than it is. We get by. It isn't
Like the
always
way he
easy,
makes
but
it
we
sound
make
is there's like black market boats to Skyrim or some shit.
God's keep.
So I need to go to the trap door. I have to go under. Here we go. Oh, okay. I don't know why, but there's something really funny to me about just like open the door. Skyrim. Yippee. Okay. All right. Let me do our ad break real quick, and I'll be back in like 3 minutes. Because if I don't run ads every hour, Twitch gets angry with me. Twitch gets very mad at me. Oh!
Friends,
Wait, what?
I have something for you. Here.
Oh my god, she gave me 3 silver ingots. That was kind of a weird gift, but thank you, bestie. You know, I feel like getting silver ingots.
Bloated with disease.
What? What did you just say? Did you just say I'm bloated with disease? Do I have a disease right now? Fear of the undead. Oh my god, I have fucking rock joint. Why did no one tell me? I guess I am bloated with disease. Well, shit. Okay, let me let me take our break finally. I'm gonna go get a snack, and we will be back. So Hello? 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 Hi. Okay. Can I be so honest with you guys for a second? I want to be... So, like, I sat down, had a cookie, drank some water, and I, like, opened Twitter as I'm relaxing before the ad break's over. And the first thing I see is gay porn. And I'm just like, oh. Alrighty then. So that happened. And I just sat there with my cookie and I was like, damn. Okay. But anyway, not gay enough. Listen. I feel so sorry for everyone who follows my alt Twitter. I'm so sorry that I keep posting League of Legends yaoi. It will not stop. Not on my main Twitter, but if you follow my alt Twitter, I'm very sorry for continually reposting League of Legends yaoi. I might have a problem. I just think they're really... Your brother is doing kill consumers. Listen. Everyone thinks that I'm... Listen, I have had some people call me who don't remember my name. I don't get recognized a lot, okay? I was talking to my dad about this. I don't get recognized a lot. I don't consider myself a big streamer, right? But there has been times where the few times I have been recognized, I am referred to as the Skyrim lady on TikTok, which makes sense. TikTok's my biggest platform. Or the Skyrim lesbian from TikTok. And while I am a big fan of the lesbian community, keep up the good work, ladies. Big fan. I'm not a lesbian. I am bisexual. But it was a very, but thank you. Shout out to the gays. Love you guys. Love you, bestie. But, I thought that was very funny that was like my calling card. But I love, like I said, and like, yeah, you're right, the Skyrim bisexual. Welcome to the stream! Oh, Kiri, thank you so much for the raid! Hello, gamers! Oh my gosh, thank you, gamers! Welcome for the blah, blah, blah. Thank you for the stream. If I could get a shout out for Kiri, I would appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. My name is EEBEE'S. I love women, Skyrim, and I am the adult equivalent of Cocomelon. There is nothing of sustenance here, only overstimulation. Welcome! How was your stream? What did you play? What did you play, gamer? We are playing Skyrim. We have the Legacy of the Dragonborn mod. We just finished dumping off a bunch of shit in the museum. Lydia, get back here. I need to...
I'm right behind
you. Give me... I put a bunch of shit in Lydia, so I need to get it back.
Certainly.
Because I had too much shit going on. Let me make sure. Jingle, I love you. You shouted out the wrong person. I got you, though. I got you. Here you go. I think that should work. There we go. What were you doing? Just messing around in Unreal 5? Hell yeah, gamer. I don't know shit about game development. All I know is from David. But, listen... God bless you for knowing that kind of shit, because I do not. So let me just take everything. Will it probably, oh wait, shit, I don't mean, oh wait, did I accidentally make her naked?
You lead, I'll follow.
Okay, that was a close call. I almost accidentally made her naked. That would have been bad. Who the fuck are you?
You must be the benefactor of this collection.
Ah, hi.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Avram Shazir. Orion hired me as the guard captain for the museum.
Okay.
With the collections growing so quickly, he needed another set of eyes to ensure it's all well.
But thank you so much for the raid, Kiri. I appreciate
intend to also hire
We are doing a few different quests. We're doing Falskaar. We're doing Legacy of the Dragonborn.
If you need anything, don't hesitate to
and
ask.
I think we kind of are going back and forth between Falskaar and Skyrim. The boat to Skyrim from Falskaar is a lot, but I am just hoarding too much shit. I need to get rid of it. Oh, good luck with your job interview stuff, gamer. Thank you, for the raid, and I hope everything goes good. Thank you. Recruiting more followers means more forced labor to horn. I mean, you're right. You are right. God, she's so cunty. I know it's like a
But I've
default
been here in Skyrim
animation for
for
all
a couple
female
of years
characters,
now.
but I love that shit. I love it so much. What did you do before
A
this?
little of everything, really. I just left a job as a dock warehouse
Oh my
guard
god, I
in
was just
Donstar.
in Donstar.
It
That's
was
crazy.
quite boring. I wanted something a bit more dynamic and interesting.
I don't know if working in a museum is what I'd call interesting, but you know,
Goodbye.
if it makes you happy, bestie. All right, let me do this. Display preparation table. 4 new displays. We're at 130 displays. I need to make sure. Yeah, I can't remove this right now. I need to make a replica. So some of this stuff I need to make a replica of. You know what I mean? Let me see. Where'd Lydia go? I need to make sure I didn't
What can I
take
do
all
for
her
you?
shit. Because she doesn't have, she may not have a weapon. Okay, you have
Still
a weapon.
here.
Do you have anything that I can display? Let me make
It
sure.
would be my pleasure.
Okay, thank you. This needs to go, 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 this needs to go. Okay, there we go. And I think one of these I have 2 of. Yeah, you can have one of those. The rest I'm gonna display.
I'll guard you with
Oh
life.
my god, I am... Okay, can I just, drop something real quick? Just, throw that on the floor real quick. We'll grab it later. We'll grab that later. Okay, here you go. Prep. Prep. There we go. 5 new displays. And everything is out. So I do want to see if I can make any replicas right now. There's a Dragonstone replica, Golden Claw replica, Clay, Nettlebane, Ebony Ingot. Jesus Christ. Okay, there's a lot of shit I can use to make replicas of, but I don't have the shit I need for it. So I am hoarding a lot of like raw materials.
You're
Oh,
back.
hey.
Wonderful.
Hi,
I trust
Ariane.
things fare well. I found an odd weapon from a Dunmer trader, and it turned out to be something rather impressive. Here, have a look, and place
I
it on
know.
display.
I don't know. I really wish he had a romance route because I love Aryan so much. He's such a cutie patootie. Okay, I love him, bro. But we are getting pretty good with our displays. So let me grab my mammoth tusk from the ground. We might need. It might be a surprise tool. That'll help us later. Let's actually store. I do still want to give Lydia a backpack, but for now, let me store my materials, my supplies, so that way I have access to them in the workbench and stuff like that. Yeah. And now I'm down to 192, so that's good. Let's see. We'll also go back to my room and see if we can store the oh wait, what's the armor rating on these? Museum armor. Oh, that's better than my current armor. Do we want to see what Vanya looks like in the museum armor? Here, let's go back to her room. Oh, look at this. Oh, we also have some paintings to display, I think, too. Yeah, we started to have, yeah. Oh, hey. But we have, like, little displays for, like, different places we've gone over here. I do have some paintings, though, that I want to display. And we might have some extra shit. So let me see. Are there any places where I can put paintings? Because those you have to hang up, like, individually. What's our armory look like right now? I do kind of want to see. I do want to do a quick little run around. Not, like, super long, but I want to do a quick little run around to see where our museum is, like, at. Yeah, so you can see, like, the guard armor and shit. We have that over there. Are you a fashion over efficiency type of gamer? Kind of. Yeah, this is cool. We got a gray sword over there. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's all coming together. Okay. I don't know. I love seeing things slowly fill up. It's really cool to me. So I'm just gonna, like, run around real quick. There's our Forsworn horde right now. Very cool. Let's see. Dwarven stuff we don't have a lot of. Our steel armor stuff is coming together slowly but surely, as is our iron stuff. We have one Nordic carved thing. We have a few elven things. That shield looks really fucking cool. Have you found all the secret rooms of the gallery? Not yet. What else do we got? I think that's it for the armory right now. Let's go back to the Hall of Heroes. Leveler's Tower, you can pick what metals you want to dig and have them. Oh, yeah. I need to go back to Leveler's Tower. I need to do that. Do we have anything in the Hall of the Forgotten yet? I don't want to spend a ton of time at the museum right now, but I do want to just do a little run around. Okay, do a little run around and see what all we've got. Because we're already at over 100 displays, which I'm very proud of, you know? Okay. Very pretty. Very pretty. Forgotten Armory. What is this? This is so cool. I always forget about this room, but it's cool as fuck. Yeah, what is this? I don't remember this. I'm gonna be real with you. What does it say? Dear visitor, you have not installed the required patch. Oh. Well, I will need to do that then. Good to know. Alrighty then. We're missing a patch. You can't see it, but I'm doing a big old thumbs up right now. I forgot the forgotten. Anything over here? What's this? Forgotten guard? What's that? I hope my game doesn't actually crash. Like, it's saying I'm missing patches, low-key makes me a little nervous. Oh! This is cool looking. It's like a little research room. I need to honestly, like, take some cute pictures of Vanya in this room. Like, because her whole thing is she's a researcher, you know? It's an office. It's so fucking cool looking. That's the thing. I don't think it'll crash either, but it's less... the collection, it's more me. Forgotten guard.
Yes.
Oh. This is cool, though. I never knew this was here. Was this added recently, or am I just stupid? Wait, what's this? Behind this door is a vault of copies of the exhibits located in the Hall of Forgotten. If you can get into this room, the use of these exhibits is prohibited. Oh. Whoa. Okay, well, I'm not gonna do a thievery. I promise. I'm not... Listen, I'm not that much of a bad person. I'm gonna steal from a fucking museum. I feel... Well, they stole the Declaration of Independence from the museum, but that wasn't real. That was a movie. Forgotten collections? Have I been in here before? I think I just went in here. I think I'm stupid, but that's okay. Oh, no, I didn't. Woo! Part of the Forgotten Collections Gallery. An active expansion phase will be updated as new rooms and collectibles are found. Whoa! I have never fucking been... I've literally played this mod for, like, years on stream now at this point. This is cool as fuck. Oh, my God. Okay, we're gonna need to get some new patches going. This has to be new. But it looks cool as shit. Yeah, I don't have patches. Interesting. Didn't you steal most things in the museum? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. This is gorgeous though. Look at this. When in doubt, ask the Discord. I probably will later. Because this is very cool. Aw, the toys and everything. Oh, look at the little aquarium! Holy shit. That is the thing, is like one of like my biggest like accomplishments as a content creator is deadass Canlaberg noticing me and enjoying my content. If the person that made Legacy of the Dragonborn ever noticed my content and told me he like thought I was funny, I think I would die on the spot. I think I would literally pass away. Cause like, I love this mod so much. This is so fucking cool. That's currently under construction. Okay. Is the dev still active? I think so, because this is all like new stuff, and I think they're working on a new mod, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong though, but yeah, no, I'll have to look into it. But if the dev is still active and he ever finds me and thinks I'm funny, that would be like god tier, is if I were noticed by the Legacy of the Dragonborn dev. I would lose my fucking shit. Okay. Let's see where we can hang up these paintings, because I think we have maybe one or two. What's going on over here? Also, all the books I've been hoarding. Because sometimes I have noticed that sometimes it doesn't take all my books. No, it took my books. It took my books. Let's see. I think here we go. Aha! Any other paintings? Woohoo! Okay. We only had 2 paintings for now, but that's 2 extra displays. So, let's head over to our room, check out our new outfit. Although the sun is like looking really pretty in here right now. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. Look at her glow. Oh my God. Okay, let's go into our room. And then we'll see what's going on. We'll see what's going on. I never figured out like all the shit in this room either. Like, oh my God. It's just, I love taking screenshots. I honestly, oh my God. Oh my God. It's so fucking cool. I'm sorry. All right. Is it, I think it's up here. There we go too, for our bedroom. Safe house, there we go. I love the safe house. I know there's so many cool Skyrim player homes. Safe house just has a special place in my heart, okay? It really does. Hi, girly pop. Did you know the secret rooms are the safe house? I know the treasury. That's one I want to figure out, is the treasury, and I want to dump more gold in there, because I like seeing it like slowly build up. So I want to keep some gold on hand, but if you go past here, switch. Aha! So you can literally just put money in here. We have 10, I'm gonna put 10,000 gold in right now and watch what happens. If you've watched my stream for a while, you know what happens. But watch what happens when I do that. Give it a second. Can I show you one? Fuck yeah. Ah, see how it like fills up? Isn't it cool? I don't know why, but I think it looks really neat. I don't know. It makes me happy. I just love games where you can see shit progressively like fill up. I don't know why, but it brings me joy.
Gaslight, gatekeep,
about
girl
84, thank
boss.
you so much for the follow. You're not Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. I'm fangirling over the museum. So let me put our fate cards away because we do have quite a few fate cards, and we're just gonna put those in there. Satan, thank you so much for the hydrate. And the dining room fireplace. Let me check that out. Okay. I do need to eventually go to another bone altar though. Oh yeah, this is the bathtub, by the way. So I have nudity disabled, but you can like get naked and take a bath here and stuff like that. But I think it's just, it's so pretty. Okay. I'm a slut for good interior design. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But let's actually see what she looks like with the, wait, what's this? Oh wait, this is new. Wait, this is new. The dolls. That wasn't there before. It's all these different types of dolls. That's so cool. This room, I believe you can make into like children's rooms or followers' rooms. I believe it's customizable. Let me see. So let's try the museum guard armor on. Because we actually haven't changed her outfit since we started. Who enters her bath fully clothed with a backpack? Do you think I can't just get her titties out? Okay, this is Twitch. They'll get mad at me. Okay. Let me see. Oh, I do. Wait, I can give Lydia a backpack. Hold up. Hey.
I've got your back.
Do you want a backpack? Here. Where is it? Trade some things with you.
Yes, my lady.
Cool. Okay. Here you go. Backpack. Take this. There you go.
I will protect you.
Yeah, now she has a backpack. Okay, so now she can carry more shit. And that's what I want to do. I want to give her. How does she look in the museum armor? Let's see. Ooh. What do you think? I didn't take. What does it look like? Let me take her little cape off. Because I do like her little cape. Ooh. I don't know. I like it, but like. I don't know how I feel. I like the armor. It's like, I don't know how I feel about it on her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Okay, dining room fireplace. Let's check this out. If nothing else, we'll definitely keep it up here. Like, we have her noble dress and shit in here. I don't have anything else on mannequins. Yeah, even though it's better, I love her outfit. Like, her starting outfit is just so cute. So I think for now, this isn't a display, but it's cool. Like, it has significance for me. So I think we'll just put it on here. For all you perverts in the chat, there you go. There you go. And for all you, like, extra perverts in the chat, feet. There you go. Okay, anyway. Let me put her clothes back on. Because I do really like her starting outfit. I don't know. I think it just suits her really well, you know? Yeah, it's very Rogue Hunter, and she's not that, you know? Okay, let's see. Thank you for the yeet, Bumble. Let's go in here. Fireplace. So what's going on? There's a hidden door. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that with the curtains. I can't see shit. Let me try something. Anti-perv bomb. Listen, I'm sorry. I gotta get people interested somehow. Okay? Sometimes you just gotta. Ooh. Oh, let me put my glasses back on. That's the wrong button. Where's the glasses button? There it is. That's the hair button. There we go. Okay, thank you. What is? Oh, let me take that real quick. I'll put that in my fire. I have a little thing to hold on my firewood. What's over here, though? I've never seen this before. Ooh! What is down here? It's nothing big. I don't care. I'm excited. It's a new thing. I'm like, it's new. I like new things. I get excited very easily. Oh! It's like an underground passageway to solitude. Where's that lead out of? Where's that spit you out? Secret passage? Whoa. Wait, but how do I... Oh. Ah! Hey! I just... Oh, shit. Can I... Hello? Whoopsie. God damn it. Okay. That's cool though. I like that. That is very nifty. Okay. I'm a little slow sometimes. There's a button on the outside. Interesting. Okay. That's really cool though. I never knew that was there. Okay. A child. Give her something every bit. Listen, I don't want to say you're right, but you're kind of right. I didn't take my ADHD meds today. And that's what happens when I don't do that. Okay. Now that we have unloaded our toad, I think we can go back to Falskaar. And I want to do more of the Falskaar stuff. But I'm very happy with where the museum is right now. Done something more with it? Yeah, I agree. I still think it's cool and nifty, but I agree it would have been cool if there was more, like, with it. So, goodbye, Lydia. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. Do I have any food? Did it store my food? It did not store. Oh, no, it did store my food. I don't know why, but, like, seeing shit, like, slowly fill up makes me really happy. I don't know why, it just does. Yeah, she's fine. So, let's go. We'll dump off our firewood, in this thing. Wait, what? Can you not store firewood there anymore? You used to be able to, oh, no more vision. No, oh, the wrong button. Wrong button! Ah! Okay, there we go. You used to be able to store firewood here. Do they not have firewood storage anymore? That used to be a thing. Can I not do that anymore? But welcome in, Deadeye. I guess not. I guess the fireplace is just always on now. Yeah, you used to have to, like, turn it on. That's okay. Do I have anything that I want to put in the sell pile? My stuff still hasn't sold yet, but that's okay. We'll just see. I don't think we have anything that needs to go in there. So right now, I think we're good. Okay. Alright. Let's head out and we will... Can we just fast travel back to Falskaar or do we have to take the boat? We're probably gonna have to take the boat. So we're probably gonna have to go back to Dawnstar. Can you turn it on though? I think so. I'm not sure. But there we are. I kinda wanna take a picture of her over here. Because this is cool looking. I wish I could like...
You look rather pale.
Right, I still have a disease. Fuck, I forgot about that. Oh shit. We'll cure my disease later. I'm sure it'll be fine. Should we take a picture of her up here? I was gonna use the one for the thumbnail, but I kinda like this. I don't know. We'll do one more picture. Ooh. And then we'll figure out, I'll determine which one I want to use for the thumbnail later. Because I'm not entirely sure yet. There we go. Okay. TM, TFC, there we go. Alright. Let's go to Dawnstar. And then we can get back to Falskaar from there. I'm not worried about the Mythic Dawn right now. I fucking forgot where Dawnstar was. Here we go. Dawnstar. There we go. Because I do want to get the gem for the guy, and I do want to do more of the main quests of Falskaar. How long is Falskaar? Is that something, like, we can finish it reasonably within a stream? Or is that something where, like, I don't know, you know? Oh. The game crashed! Alright, let me turn it back on. Here we go. Whoopsie! That's okay. Sometimes Skyrim crashes, and that's kind of person. I'll fix it tomorrow. I mean, you're not entirely wrong. You're not entirely incorrect, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Never played it. Yeah, that's the thing is I don't know how I missed it for this long, deadass. I have no idea, you know? All right. Bring me the game. I want to rim the sky. Thank you. Thank you. I did fuck up my sleep schedule, but I can't stay up super late because I literally teach at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Whoa. Listen, I've seen mods in the Epic playlist as like 10 years old but never played. Really? See, that's the thing is like, I don't know. That's why I like Skyrim. That's why I like this collection, is because even though like I've been playing this collection, immersive collection specifically, for over a year and I'm still finding new shit. You know what I mean? And I've been playing Skyrim for like over a decade, you know? Actually, yeah, I have been playing Skyrim since release. So it's like, I don't know, you know? For me, it's less like depression and more just like, wow, Like, I know I'm never gonna run out of shit to do, it feels like. You know, or at the very least, it's gonna take a very long time to run out of shit to do. You know what I mean? Alright, let's see. Let us see. Loading screen. Hopefully it'll let me go to Dawnstar, but if not, then I guess I'll just shit my pants. Yeah, okay. Let's do this map. And then, let's see here. How many base Skyrim achievements do you have? I don't think I have every achievement, because I play modded so often, but I'll have to check. Pandas, I'm back. Welcome back, Nick. And I do not know Senellian. Feel free to tell me. I do really like the immersive mod collection community. The thing is, when I first started modding, after like the Modpocalypse 2, I think.
Loaded with disease.
Stop telling me about my diseases. I will cut off your clitoris. Anyway, welcome to the stream, Nina. Sorry. I'm so sorry. That was the intro line you got from me. God damn it. Where do I go to the boat? Oh, hey.
Don't take this the wrong way.
Fine, I'll go get a potion. Everyone's upset with me because I'm diseased or some shit.
Yes.
A person will say, I hate that random texture. Let me create a 4K upgrade of it. No, for real though. Like, I love that shit. People will make mods for shit where you didn't think you needed a mod of it, but then you get the mod and you're like, oh damn. Okay. But like,
who do you
do I have, is there potions in Dawnstar? I could probably get one here, honestly. But, yeah, I like it because like a lot of other modding communities I found after Modpocalypse, because I used to mod a lot on my own. I used to make my own mod list back. I used to use mostly Mod Organizer 2, and I would make my own mod list, and I really enjoyed making my own mod list because I would like try to tailor them to the characters I wanted to play and stuff like that. But like,
all right then.
My whole thing was like after, oh my god, what was it? I had like a whole mod list set up. I remember this very well. I had a whole mod list set up for, oh my god, what is it called? It was just really intense, like, Skyrim survival thing. God, what was it fucking... David, what was the Skyrim mod that was, like, really hardcore?
One built on Requiem?
Requiem! Yeah. I had a whole mod list built around Requiem. And I upgraded to Anniversary Edition. Didn't even think about how that would affect SKSE, because I'm stupid. And then nothing worked. And I was so excited to play it on stream. And I just sat on stream for 20 minutes, troubleshooting, cried, and then ended the stream. So I didn't play Skyrim for a really long time because I was like so afraid of fucking it up, you know? So once I found out, I started using Vortex because a lot of people recommended collections to me. And I found the immersive collections. And a lot of the other collections either didn't like have everything that I wanted, or they were like, how do I describe it? Or they were like kind of mean, you know, because I had never used Vortex before. I had never used collections before. Oh, that's pretty. Look at her on the boat. But like I&E was like the only collection that was nice to me. I found Evie because she asked if they could add a romance mod to it in the Discord. I did. That was like literally my first interaction in the Immersive Collections Discord was like, hey, can you guys make polyamory happen? I want to fuck so many people. Let me marry everyone. If ever makes a Dark Messiah combat mod for Skyrim, ooh, that would be cool. That would be awesome. I don't know. I like the combat that Immersive and Epic has, but it is very like Souls-like. And I'm very bad at Souls games. It was the guy, that's right, I wanted them to add Brynjolf's mod. Yeah, I wanted them to make Brynjolf Has Time For You compatible. Because I remember my second playthrough with the collection, not my first one, the Rasha one, but my second playthrough, I broke my save because I added too many Brynjolf sex mods. Which, honestly, icon moment. Thank you for the clip, Nick. I will treasure that forever. There are so many clips where I'm like, this is so funny, but I don't know if I should post this anywhere. Like, the IRL stream where I talked about how I wanted more big cock statues in Skyrim. Funny as shit. And if I had made that rant with my VTuber model, I would have posted it. But I had that rant with my IRL, like, during my IRL stream, and I didn't know if I wanted a clip of my real face out there saying, I want big cock statues. This is a relatively long mod with a map. Yeah, this is a big, it is fucking big.
Look,
what?
a cave. Wonder what's inside.
Do you want to go inside? Well, I'm down to fuck around, but this is new. Let's go inside. Let's go inside. Oh, thank you for the clip, though, Gamer. I appreciate that. I see so many mods that try to make Skyrim's combat to something like Souls, which is okay, but people are... That's the thing. Yeah, I'm not, like... Oh, fuck, that's a big crap. I don't really like Dark Souls combat. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't play games to have a bad time. And that, I feel like that sounds obvious, but like, I don't find enjoyment in games in them being hard. I am very much a story kind of gamer. I like role playing. I do have songs of Skyrim. I like role playing. I like looking around things. I like investigating. I'm not the type of person that likes to play games just for them to be hard. And I don't want to be miserable. You know, I want to have fun. And I feel like Souls combat, I totally get the appeal and like, this is really hard and I have overcome it. That's awesome. If you like that, pop off, bestie. But it is not for me, you know, and that's okay. Not everything has to be for me. I'll live. I'll be okay. Now you, my friend, will not be okay because you're gonna fucking die. How did Songs of Skyrim ruin your playthrough? I kind of want to know. Yeah, Lydia has killed many people. Like, Lydia does some fucked up shit. But, you know, listen. I support women's rights and women's wrongs, okay? Lydia was a real one for me in the mammoth fight, so I'm gonna... she's kind of redeemed herself in my eyes, okay? Skyrim Combat Mod, I love it. It makes it if you hit unarmored limbs, it affects enemies. So they... Oh, I think I've heard of that. That sounds really cool, though. That actually sounds really cool. I don't know. There was like this one game. I don't know if I'm misremembering this. Maybe I made this up. But like, I remember there was a game where it's like you could chop people's arms off. Like during combat. Didn't she start the fight? Yeah, but like she ended it. And I respect that. She knew what she was about. She knew what she was about. She came to slay. And slay she did, you know? I do need to pick up Inigo. I like Inigo a lot. I just haven't spent a lot of time in Rift in this playthrough. Like, yeah, Vanya commits war crimes, but she's not a thief, you know? Like, she's not a thief, you know? Yeah! I'll have to look into that, because it was kind of cool. I'm afraid it might be too gory for our playthrough, or it might conflict with other mods that I have, but it was really cool, you know? It's only a war crime in war. Well, we are in war right now, so it's okay. There's a war going on. Doesn't have anything to do with me, but like it's happening, you know. Speaking of questline, there's this very heartfelt moment of cremating a comrade that died due to betrayal. So there he was, laying on top of the bonfire, naked, with a raging erection. Doesn't that happen though? Don't you get a hard on when you die because all the blood goes to your pee-pee? Maybe it's just lore friendly. You don't know. Let's start our own war. Yeah, we're gonna start our own war in Skyrim with blackjack and hookers. It'll be no. Isn't that part of no? I remember reading. Okay, maybe this is a bad source, but I remember reading a Tumblr post where this person that was like a mortician was like, yeah, when people die, you go through rigor mortis, and then you get a hard on when you die. So they gotta go around and snap your dick so you don't like have your viewing of your dead body with your dick out. So they gotta go snap the pee-pee, you know? I read that somewhere. I don't know if that's true, but I read it. Lucian, Sophia, Hawthorne, Recorder. I need to find Recorder again. Recorder was so cute. She was very sweet. I liked her a lot. I want to find Lucian again, too. I think Vanya and Lucian would get along, because Vanya's boyfriend in my stories is like a cinnamon roll, and Lucian is very cinnamon roll to me, you know? But yeah, you gotta snap the pee-pee. That was a thing. Wait, are you telling me a mud crab is the final boss? Are you fucking for real? That is our big boss battle? Okay. The fucking kill cam. God, we are gonna eat good tonight, all these crab legs. It's like wait, Spell Tome, Octado's Recital. What's this? I've never seen this before. Hold up. Blood Gift, I have that already. Stores the beneficial self-targeted non-concentration spell in your left hand and cast it for no cost whenever you enter combat. Oh! Interesting. So I can store spells? Recorder's in Riverwood, Sleeping Giant Inn. Okay, I'll need to probably pick her up when I start doing main quest stuff again. Because we started the main quest, we just never finished it. Let me see. What was that? I think it was alteration. Where was that? The Crab King. Crab people. Crab people. Where was it? It was Octados something something. I don't see it. Huh? Here it is. Okay, so it is alteration. Lucian's in the crypt in Whiterun. Okay, I'll need to find him. I love Lucian. So how does that work? In my left hand. So it stores this spell. Oh, I can't store this spell. Okay. So it basically makes it so I store a spell and then I cast it for no cost. Okay, okay. I was chanting crab people. Yes. Okay, so what's going on over here, by the way? Like, not to be a hater, but this seems a little sussy. Crystal shards you got to get bad juju from. Oh, okay. So where are the crystals? Are they in here? Don't see anything in here. Maybe we'll have to come back? It's over here. This looks interesting. I see a pile of blood and I'm intrigued. It's very pretty. This is where we came from. Hold on. What's the wolf in the crypt called? I have no idea. Unfortunately, I do not know. Let's go this way. Does this also lead out? Are you alive? No, they're dead. Yeah, so I've done this before. Okay. Hi, Chaos Gang! Welcome in, Gamer! Hope you're having a beautiful day or night. Well, thank you, Gamer. I appreciate that. We are having a day. And there's all these crabs. I don't know what to do with them. There may be a quest marker for it. Yeah, I don't see anything for that. Any, like, shards. So we might have to come back here and see what's going on. Hello? Interesting. I guess we'll just come back later then, because this does look cool, but I'm not sure what to do. There's probably more to it with all the blood sacrifice shit, but this is okay. It says we cleared it though. This is Sandy Shell Hollow, so I don't know if there's anything else going on with Sandy Shell, but it looks like we'll have to come back and see what the fuck is up. So let's go this way, head out, and then we'll do our other quests and whatnot. So we'll see what's going on. Okay, so let's go do our other quest that we have though. But I'm down to like explore all the other shit and like mini caves and stuff like that, just because we've never been here before, so we might as well, you know what I mean? So what is closest to us? So let me go, no, wrong button, fuck. L, here we go. So retrieve the sapphire, I want to do that. Show Agnar the orders. There's the lighthouse. We'll do the lighthouse later. I want to do this, and then this is part of the main quest at the island. But yeah, this is the whole island of Falskaar. So this is everything. There's probably gonna be a lot to do here, considering this is such a big fucking island, you know? Alright, well let's find the sapphire. Maybe that's just when Evie will find something new and forget the quest again. Probably like 20 minutes, let's be honest. Like 20 minutes. Maybe 30, you know. Alright, let's see. Grimrock Grotto. Ooh, oh, there's something going on up there too. What do you mean 1 minute? No. Runes of Homer. What's that? Roll of paper, iron sword. Ooh. 5 at best. You guys are so mean to me. This looks cool. I don't know what it is though. Yeah, Ruins of Homer. Let's check this out. I'm not forgetting about the main quest. I'm just checking everything out, okay? I've never been here before. I just want to check things out. This doesn't count. I'm not forgetting. No, I'm trying to. I said I'm exploring. Okay? Okay. All right, bolt. Fuck that bolt. Let's see what's going on over here. We haven't done this before. I'm in a new place. Okay, I want to see. I just want to explore. Okay, I just want to explore. I want to know what the fuck is up. Okay, what's this? Hello? Oh, there we go. I knew there'd be a wait, infected? What are you infected with? No, don't vomit on me. Oh, shit. Okay, I don't have frostbite up. Hold up. Yeah, I need to start using frostbite until I find the new blood drain spell, because current blood drain, as fun as it is, does no fucking damage. Town of the Rise already been fucked by war in the Middletown. Oh, shit. Okay. Damn. Ooh. Looks doesn't look like too dissimilar from like a regular Draugr crypt, but we'll see.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, me too, girly. Me fucking too. Okay. There's a little puzzle in here. Are you alive? Someone gonna pop out here? Okay. Guess not. Unlock this real quick. Boop. Nope. Boop. Okay, wrong direction. Okay. Boop. Yay. Okay. Take that. Oh. Disease. Yeah, I'm noticing disease is a bit of a theme. Interesting. Okay. What's, there you are. Okay. I was wondering when you pop out. Oh my god, it's a Bone Man! Bone Man! I have a Bone Man friend. Oh, you're, thank you for the yeet. Are you sure you're gonna have a stronger blood drain spell? I think so. I think there's a book for it. Yeah, you do no damage. Let me give you another cow. Here, and we'll slow you down. Make things easier for Lydia. Here, I don't want Lydia to die. Are you okay? Here, let me heal her real quick. I should probably put healing hands on a hot. I should probably do that. There you go. There you go, girly. Don't die.
I'll kill you with my
Stay alive. You've been here this long. If you don't stay alive, I will fucking kill you. Hi, GT. This is Mod Anniversary Edition Skyrim. Yes. If you type !mod list, I have a list of the collection, or a link to the collection I'm using. But this is Anniversary Edition. We are using Immersive and Epic. It's been slightly modified with some stuff added, some stuff taken out because there's, you know, boobies and shit, and Twitch don't like that. But it is Anniversary Edition. So what's going on over here? Yeah, there's more over here. Did you like run off? And what the fuck does this do? I don't have any like hint as to which one I'm supposed to do. So I guess we'll have to come back to that. I don't fucking know. Where are the boners? The boners died. I am sorry to report to you that they took my boners away, and I haven't been able to get new boners yet. But I promise you, I will bring back the boners. Don't worry. Boners will come back. They just went to sleep for a while. My skeleton babies. Oh shit. Alright. Hi. Oh shit. Let's do this, and then frostbite. Yeah, I need to put frostbite on a fucking hotkey too, since I keep using it. Because I have good destruction points. It's just right now I don't have a spec in anything elemental, so it doesn't do as much damage as it could. Because like right now the build I'm going for is conjuration destruction. Because the blood spells, I want like a necromancy component, but also like I do want to do like damage outside of that. Hi. So okay, this says snake, fish. So I bet when I click this, it's gonna shoot me.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Just as I expected. So we need to make, okay, here's what we need to do. This one over here needs to be a fish, and then the other one needs to be a snake. Okay. Yeah. The collection, if you download it, highly recommend, but it is big. So this one needs to be, wait, did this one need to be a snake or a fish? I think it needed to be a fish. There we go. Wait, yeah, fish. But the arrow points here, so is it? We're gonna say it's that direction. Then the other one will be a snake. And then once the other one's a snake, it should work, if I recall correctly. Yeah, this one, yeah, fish. Okay, snake on the other way. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I finally deleted, I didn't realize it for the longest time. I finally fucking deleted the 7-zip files from mods I downloaded literal years ago. Because I had just never fucking deleted them, and I was like, I wonder why I have so little storage on my computer. And I looked, and it's like, girl, you have 30 gigs of mods from 2021 as 7-zip files. And it's like, oh, okay. And now I have storage on my computer again. I wish I had a Nintendo Switch with Anniversary Edition Skyrim, because then I'd be able to play wherever I go. I kind of want to, like, I know that this collection, if you have a Steam Deck, There is a way to get this mod collection on Steam Deck so you can play it locally. And apparently it still looks really good on Steam Deck. I've been debating getting a Steam Deck for a while, and like I don't have the money for it right now. Like it's one of those things where it's like if I had money, cool, but it's not like a priority for me. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, it would be like cool to have, but I'm probably not gonna buy one anytime soon. But it is very cool. Okay, let's see if this works now. There we go. All right, let's put the ladies in here. Go, my ladies! And we'll have them fight. How close am I to leveling up? Unrelated. Pretty close. Okay. We'll have them fight, and I just get to chill. I just get to relax. Alright. Can you stop being alive? Hey! Stop being alive! It's cringe! God, I do no fucking damage. Here, why don't you, like, come over here? Why don't one of you guys comes over here? So that sounds right, because then I'd be able to get 18++ NSFW mods from Lovers Up. Yeah, I don't think you can mod anything. I mean, I know you can... Oh, shit. Fucking Lydia's dying again. I know you can mod with,
Now you'll pay.
I think there are some mods available on Xbox. I know PlayStation's pretty strict about what you can and can't mod. But I don't know how it would be on Nintendo Switch. Knowing what I do know about Nintendo, you probably would not be able to. You probably would not be able to, unfortunately. Okay, there we go. Anything here that's museum worthy? No. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's keep going. Lydia, you're alive, right? Okay, cool. Wait, is she? Lydia? I think she's alive. You're not Lydia. I like walked up, I'm like, is that Lydia? Oh, she's alive. Girl, where are you? Here. God.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you good? Okay, you're good. Search for Dark Fuzz. He posts a lot of the screams from the... Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I know I've seen lots of stuff about the Steam Deck on the Discord and everything. Kind of strict on mods, and Switch has nothing. Yeah, Switch is like Stream Deck, not Stream Deck. PlayStation is strict, but you can still get some mods, whereas with like other shit, like the Switch, you ain't getting shit. You're not getting nothing, you know? Okay, alright.
Now that's how it's done.
Damn right. Okay, let's see. Nord Sword. There we go. Open that up. Can I please go through? Can I open? Oh, okay. I guess not. Anything over here? Here, we won't take that because it doesn't have a display.
Gaslight, geek, girl boss.
Fellatio noob! You know, that's what they call me in high... No, I'm kidding. Thank you for the follow! You're not a gaslight, gatekeep girl boss.
I will protect you with my life.
I need to start thinking before I speak. I swear to fucking God. I really need to just not be the way that I am. Okay, can I, like, is open? Yeah, it says it's unlocked, but it just won't let me open it. You know what? Fuck it. Well, that's what I want to do. Here. That's not what I want. Where's the... Can I just... Here we go. There we go. What? What is the collision thing? What is the... What's the command for collision? I'm trying to fucking... Man.
Is someone there?
Man, I just want to get through. I guess not. Okay. I can probably like save and reload and it'll be fine. What was it? F5 and F9 is quick load? Let's try that. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. Thank you for the yeet. Please don't. This is fun. I'm telling you. Listen, I was talking to my dad the other day, bro, and he's like, you need to... You gotta be worried in your line of work. Because I don't like VTube for a living, but I have a job relating to working with VTubers. So, like, my public perception... Oh, here we go. Needs to be, like, okay to a degree. And my dad's like, you gotta be careful. You're gonna fuck up and say something stupid. And I was like, I don't know, most VTubers think I'm hilarious. Like, even the people that pay me to teach them to sing that are VTubers, they don't give a shit about what I say on stream. They think it's funny. And he's like, you gotta be careful, Evie. TCL, that's right, thank you. But like, hey, so far, No one's complained. In fact, I have had VTubers be like, yeah, I found you on TikTok. Like I'll be teaching my first voice lesson with a VTuber, and they'll be like, yeah, I found you on TikTok, and I'm like, oh no. But like some people tell me they're like, I actually like prefer it, like you being a goblin, because it makes me feel more comfortable. It makes me feel like you're like down to earth, and you're not gonna judge me because you say stupid shit on stream. And it's like, you know what? I'll take that. If me being stupid makes people feel more comfortable taking voice lessons from me, then like shit, I'll take it, you know? If me screaming about Skyrim is good advertising for my voice lesson business, then we'll take it. We take those. Oh shit. We do not have the fast boy spell. Oh boy. We do not have the fast boy spell. Maybe if I just run? Not ideal, but okay. Oh, I want that chest. Bro, I want that chest. What if I just, Okay, and then... No! Get out of the way! Okay, there we go. Okay. Alright, I know this is me being extra, but I don't care. Okay, there we go. Gold, I just want your money. Give me your money. I know this is extra. I am as hot as my summons. You're right, I can finally compete. Sorry, I can't be her. Sorry, I can't be a hot naked lady on fire. I'm telling you, bro. Expectations for women these days. It's crazy, you know? How can I ever compete? I'm not hot enough. I'm not on fire. Oh god, that was a stupid joke. I'm sorry, that was stupid. How do I... No. Okay, this way, this way. I have to like... Okay, just a little to the left. Okay, a little more to the left. This way.
Gaslight, keep girl boss.
That scared me. Francesca, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You know, gaslight, keep girl boss. Okay, very slightly. Nope. Okay, a little less to the left. What about right here? That right here. That's the money. That's the money shot. Okay, just leveling my Stormcloak mage. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. All right, let's go. Yeah! Okay, there we go. All right. All that for 23 gold and a potion of healing? All right, I think I'm gonna kill myself. I'm joking. In Minecraft. Oh, god damn it. Here. Stop. Oh, wait, that's the wrong button. No! Whoa. Hold on. This is getting a little too close for comfort. Hold up. Yeah, heal me, please. Can I be healed, please? I would like to be healed, please. Thank you. And then I would like you to die. I would like you to pass away. And I want my lead. Yeah, let's go, Lydia! Look at her popping off. Let's go, Lydia. I'm telling you, she's grown on me. Okay, I hated her. Lydia is just, I can't date her. I don't like her. I can't date her, but I like her as a friend. Okay? I like her as a friend. We'll go with that. It's a net negative. Stop. Okay, it's fine. She's grown on you like fungus. Not entirely wrong. Not entirely wrong. I have no idea what the fuck we're doing, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. Ladies, handle that. Because I don't want... Where'd Lydia go? Lydia, girl, where are you? Where is she? Don't tell me she died on these things. Where the fuck is Lydia? Oh, there you are. You good? Okay, you're good. You're fine. You're fine. Can I loot this guy, please? No? You're just gonna not? There we go. Okay. What do you want to do again? I want to do more of the main quest stuff, and I want to help the guy, but I got distracted. I'm exploring, okay? I'm exploring. At least she's not the yeast infection of Misty Sky. You're right. That is how I will describe Misty Sky from now on. The yeast infection of Skyrim. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. They look like wasted food you see in the supermarket. Yeah, these bitches have been like on sale for so long. Okay. Now that I have all the gold. Oh, I've never seen an owl one before. So, owl, snake, is that a fox? And a fish. Like different doors and shit. Okay. Let me save, because this is funky. What is yeast? So yeast is something you use to make bread. But yeast is also an infection you can have in your vaguba. The yeast, I've been informed by Twitch chat several times that the yeast in your vaguba is not the same as the yeast used to make bread, but they're both like types of yeast. You know what I mean? But that's what that is. So I feel like we have to maybe clear each of these rooms or something like that. Oh, here we go. There's a pulley thing. Okay. Stormcloak Mage takes a tradition. You see if a Stormcloak and mixes it with arcane abilities. That's the thing, is I feel like with Stormcloaks, you like, don't the Stormcloaks traditionally, and I could be wrong, I don't really play Stormcloak a whole lot. I think the last time I played Stormcloak was like years ago. I usually don't do the Civil War questline, like in general, you know. It's not one of my favorites, I'll be honest. But, don't Stormcloaks, aren't they like not fans of magic because of the Thalmor? So I feel like that could be kind of interesting, of like having the idea of like, come on, just let me cook, bro. I promise. I promise this will help us. I promise. Just let me cook.
That's
Are you
the last
dead?
of them.
Thank you. Okay. What is this guy? You see that? Ancient Nord battle axe. That looks cool. Are none of these really museum artifacts? They look cool as shit, but they're not museum artifacts. I'll take them just for my own personal display. You know, but I'm shocked they're not artifacts. Okay, that did something. That did something. Okay. The Nordcloaks. The Stormcloaks are Nord supremacists. The Imperials are kind of bitches to the Thalmor. That's why I don't like the Civil War questline, though, is I don't like either side. Like, I really... I wish I could make my own side and tell everyone to just shut the fuck up. That's my take on the Civil War. I think being mean to people just trying to live their lives in Skyrim, bad. I think the Thalmor, also bad. Like, why can't we? I know it's just, like, I know it's never that simple, but, like, I wish there was, like, why can't the Dragonborn just have their own side? If I, like, are you telling me the Dragonborn can go to literal Sovngarde, but I can't, like, why can't we, like, see past our differences and fuck up the Thalmor? Why can't we do that, you know? I think it would have been a really cool option, you know? That's the thing, you know? Yeast exists in the air and soil in general and can collect on the body and cause yeast infections. Yeah, that's right, that's right. Okay. Oh, okay, I think I see what's happening now. Okay. So this is unlocking, like, certain gates over here. So let's go through the owl door. There was cut content of Rayloff calling Elwyn a Thalmor bitch! No, Rayloff. Talk your shit, King. He's kind of right. He's kind of right. Like, that's the thing. Is like some of the high elves in this game are really cool, but why are they so mean? Like literally, like the bitches at Radiant Raiment, whatever the fuck it's called, they're so mean to me. Like maybe I wouldn't be so anti-Thalmor if you didn't call me ugly. Is that petty? Yeah, it is. Do I give a fuck? No. I'd be more dedicated to your cause, or to not beating the shit out of you if you were nice to me. It costs $0.00 to not call me ugly, okay? Were they kind of right? Maybe. They have a god complex. I mean, I feel like, yeah, that's probably it, honestly. I'm on your side. That makes sense. I'm sorry, lady, I didn't mean it. Sorry, queen. Anyway. Are you dead? Okay, thank you. Cool. Okay. There we go. There's museum artifact. How much does it cost to be mean? To me? I mean, it varies on who you ask, but like, at least $5. Like, are you alive? Okay, stop.
Gaslight, keep girl
GG,
boss.
thank you so much for the follow. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream, gamer.
Huh?
Alright, yeah, you fucking shit on his day, Lydia. Shit on his day. Alright. That's the thing, is you know how like there are people that will pay, like, you pay them so they'll be mean to you as like a fetish thing, you know? Are there people where it's like, actually no, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. Hi, Melon. Like people that like, you pay them and you get to be mean to them. Like, I mean, I guess that is just being a Twitch streamer, really. But like, is that a thing? I'm sure it is somewhere, you know? Oh shit, stop, no, don't, ow, ow! Thought you were someone I fought before, but I guess you knew. Oh, well, thank you, gamer, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let me see this. Surveys, board. Go ahead and move path to elsewhere, you run into free. Yeah, I've never done move path to elsewhere either. That's like another mod where it's like a big fucking mod. Everyone loves it. I've never done it. Or I think I've like started it and I just never finished it. You know what I mean? Bro, you need to chill. Oh my god. Ladies! Help me! Oh god damn it, Lydia's dying again. Ladies!
You won't get the best of me.
Get his ass! Thank you. Alright, there you go, queen. Heal up. Heal up, bestie. Alright, there we go. Dark Brotherhood questline is probably one of the best questlines in the whole game, in my honest experience. I fucking love the Dark Brotherhood questline. I still remember being like, how old was I? I think I was like 11. First time running through the Dark Brotherhood questline. Bro, that shit broke me. Oh. That's not good. Did we not do all of these? Hear me out. What if I just run really fast? What if that's the strat? Okay, I know I've been trying to up my conjuration for certain things, and I don't know. Reap and sow, skeleton mages, conjure altar. Oh shit! I can wait. Yeah, I want this. I can have a fucking on-the-go portable bone altar. Don't mind if I fucking do. Wait, hold up. Let me. Okay, what if I run really fast? Well, let me just. Whee! No, girl, you gotta run. Whee! Oh. Okay. What? Is that gonna kill Lydia? If that kills Lydia, I'm gonna be so... No. Did a little damage, but not a ton.
Thank you.
Huh, okay. Well, I'm not complaining. Alright. If I slurp enough soup, it'll be fine. Words to live by, honestly. Okay. Alright. Oh no, the boys are back in town. Okay. The boys are back in town, and I'm a little bitch. Oh shit. Okay, Lydia's just fucking going to town. Go, Lydia! Fuck him up! Fuck him up! Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna let you go to town. Bring another lady out here, because one of them died. I'm just gonna keep healing Lydia. That is my plan, is just heal Lydia, let her do her thing. She is popping the fuck off. There you go. Do I have my shout enabled? Perfect. Alright, let me... God, he's like burnt all up. Burnt to a crisp. Okay. Live, bitch! Let me, Frostbite? God, I'm just out of soup in general. Oh shit, okay, this is not a good look. Oh, okay, I'm dying. Okay, potion time. Resist fire sounds great right now, actually. And a little bit more sauce also sounds great. We're gonna suggest H-style games for Discord streams again. Put them in stream suggestions. And just clarify, just so I know not to play it on regular stream, that it's a hentai game, just so I know. Let me see. Okay. God, I really don't want Lydia to die. Okay, she's good right now. She's good. Alright, are you good? Yeah, get his ass. Okay, do we still have another lady over there? Here, let me heal her for a second. Oh, shit. That's the thing, is there... No, not you. You get healing hands. Oh, shit. Okay. That knocks him off. Lydia? Live! I I am begging you to live, bitch.
Oh, no, you don't.
Maybe think about getting a healing perk. At this point, honestly, I might. I wasn't gonna do points of restoration, but at this point, I might. And I think I can still make it work for Vanya's story. I think I can, honestly. The Wandering Bard. All right, we won't take that one because it's not, yeah, I probably should upgrade Lydia's gear, honestly. She has some very basic shit, so I think we will start thinking about that when we find some cool new heavy armor. Because she is kind of acting as our tank, you know what I mean? Let's open this chest up. Oh, second try, okay. Oh, okay. Alrighty then. And let's see. Ooh, Dread Coast. The fuck is the Dread Coast? Hello? It'd be tragic if test subjects die. There's water under the bridge. No big deal. No big deal, yo. But yeah, once we're at a point where we can summon that bone altar, I'm getting my fucking boners back, bro. I want my boners back. Oh shit. Here.
Yes, my thing?
Hi, bestie. I need to trade some things with you.
Certainly.
That's the thing, is Lydia's romance quest in, I don't remember what the mod is called. Amorous Adventures. I didn't like her Amorous Adventures quest, but she's fine as is. She's fine as is, okay? Alright, why don't you take, here's the thing. Do I have any actual armor I can give you that might be better? Take this cool fucking shield. There's beefy dragon armor in Leveler's Tower. I do need to check that out. I might do that off stream, honestly. And take, this cool, I like her having the shield. What's my best, like, sword? We'll just have you take the yeah. Let's have you take the war axe. Actually, this one's best. Why don't you take that, and then that should be good for now.
I will protect
But
you
I
with
will
my
be
life.
on the lookout for some nicer clothes for her, I think is a good idea. Since it is, well, what time is it in game? 5:19 p.m. Okay. Want to use the filter option? Because I'm annoying. Anything sus happen? A little sussy. Lydia almost died, but, like, we're cool with her now. So I've been healing her. Nothing too sussy, but I can summon a bone altar now. So now that we're here, I think it has to be nighttime, though, doesn't it? Let me see. Summon bone altar. Conjure altar. There we go. Ah, thanks so much for hydrate. Okay, let's see if this works.
Foos!
Wrong fucking... Okay. Oh, wait, it's power. Oh, it's like this. Okay, I see. Blah! Aha! Okay, I am also translucent briefly. Okay. Yeah, I need at least one of each bone to perform... Wait, where'd my bones go? Oh, that's right. I'm missing human skulls. Does anyone want to donate their skull for science? Oh, fuck. Are you holding any of my skulls?
Let me know if you have anything you need from
Do you have
me.
any of my skulls?
Yes,
Skulls
my
for
lady.
the skull throne? Yeah. No. I can't make more boners.
Let's
I don't
get
have. I
going,
can't bone. Okay. That's fine. It's fine. All for you, Evie Hackaway. Listen, I don't care who it is. I just need human skulls. Or just skulls in general. I need them to make my boners. I have every other bone. I just don't have the skull. Why not ask around in Riften? I mean, I could. Hey, bro. Can I borrow a skull? Real quick. Okay. Anything in here? No, not really. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can go. We'll actually do the Ruby quest now. That is what we will do now. Now that we've had our fun being distracted. Okay, I'm done being distracted. We're gonna do the actual quest now. Okay, I pinky promise. We're gonna head over there. We also have the camping gear. I haven't seen what camping looks like in this mod pack yet, honestly, because I didn't know how it worked for the longest time, because I was so used to a campfire. And this uses something a little bit different, if I recall correctly. So I do want to see what camping supplies looks like, but it's a little bit too early to set up camp now. So we'll do that later, but I am eager to try that. So, Grim Rot Grotto. I love the words grim and rot. Surely this will be a spectacular time. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna do quick ad break for like literally 1 minute just because I'm out of water and my throat is like so I will be right back. Let me go get water and I'll be right back. BRB! Boop. Boop. And Okay. God damn it, there's more gay porn on my Twitter again. I'm not surprised. It's alright. Alright. Anyway, sorry about that. I just was like really, really dehydrated. I needed more water. And the hydrate from Tiger King reminded me. Okay, let's see if we can get this sapphire and see what the fuck is going on. I drank too much water too fast and I almost threw up, but that's okay. Bell of Fortune, it's a one-place campsite. Yeah, okay. I have, camping supplies. I have that, so we'll give that a try once it's time to camp. So, let's see. Lots of water over here. It is pretty. You good? Do you need some water? I just filled up my cup of water. This looks interesting. Normally, she wanders off if it's like a safe area. So I'm like, yeah, it is here, right? Grimrock Grotto, okay. Thumbnail said sex on the live stream. Perfect. Oh shit. Yeah, this is not a safe place, Lydia. I don't know what gave you that idea that this was a safe zone. You're a little wrong about that one. There we go. Listen, I'm very proud of my BRB stream. Okay, a lot of VTubers. Not saying there's anything wrong with this, because they look really nice. A lot of YouTubers spend lots of money commissioning assets,
Gaslight,
like screens and stuff.
girl
Harley
boss.
Quinn, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You're not Gaslight, Gatekeep, girl boss. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with having really pretty aesthetic overlays. But you know what? I'm broke, so I made my own. And you know what? I like it. I think it gets the job done very well. Where did everyone go? Guys, why are you leaving me? There's still someone attacking me. Help me! I'm just a little guy. Thank you. Okay. Your armor looks cool as shit. I wish I could take his armor. I don't know what's going on there, but it looks cool. There we go. Thank you for helping me. Jesus Christ. They just like abandoned me. Did you see that? The audacity. God damn. Ah, thank you, Harley Quinn. I'm glad. I love my giant hat. Giant hat gang for life. I'm a little like, don't get me wrong. I'm super excited for my Skyrim themed model. It does not have a big hat, which is a little bit tragic. But my 3D model does still have her big hat. In fact, the 3D model hat is even more obnoxious and large. I love it. I want to listen. I need their skulls. If they just give me their skulls, no one will get hurt. The more skulls I get, the more skeletons I can conjure. And none of them have any skulls, and it's pissing me off. Actually, can I make crab legs? Because we had so many crab legs from that one cave. Can I like, okay, I can make salmon steak. I can't make anything else. That's cringe. That's okay. Best race to use for unarmed fisting. Sorry, I was not ready. I was not ready for that. I'm sorry. You mean punching. Unarmed punching. Unarmed combat. I'm sorry, I just wasn't ready to think about fisting this hour. But is anyone truly ever ready to think about fisting? I mean, I guess it does count as unarmed combat, you know? Like, laugh at you big pussy fisting guys to the death. Listen. What the fuck was I saying? She needs head. I do need head. I literally went to conjure my skeletons and was like, damn, so no head? I had no... Oh, look, they kind of look really creepy. You see them wandering around over there? That looks low-key kind of creepy. Mage Conjuration. I love Conjuration. We are playing Conjuration Destruction. I believe our character's an Imperial, but Conjuration is probably my favorite spell class. I love it. I love not doing anything. Look at that shit. They do all the work for me. It's fantastic. I love being lazy in a video game. It's great, you know? I do have my follower too, which helps, but you know, get as much as you can, right? You gotta work smarter, not harder, right? All right. Come on, besties. There's murder to be had. Fuck 'em up, besties. How's Lydia doing? Are you like okay health-wise? She's probably fine. She's fine. That giant skeleton guy. I haven't done a ton of the anniversary content, but I'm very excited to. So I'm hoping that with this playthrough we'll be able to do more of that. Because usually my playthroughs on stream are pretty short, because my playthroughs are always themed around the characters that I play. Oh shit. In the sense that like all my characters I play have different goals, and sometimes their playthroughs just end because they've, as a character, like from a roleplay perspective, they've accomplished all their goals. But with this character, Vanya's probably gonna be our main character in the sense that like because of the context of her backstory, in the sense that she is like an intellectual, she is researching dark magic, it kind of makes sense for her to do everything, right? Because she's doing lots of research. She would be kind of no stone unturned in the sense. Because sometimes it feels like with certain characters I play, like it doesn't make sense. Because my whole thing is like, I want to complete the museum. The Legacy of the Dragonborn Museum is one of my favorite things on the planet, and I want to complete it. But with other characters I played, it doesn't like my good boy, sweet bean, you know, druid character, it doesn't make sense for him to be in the Dark Brotherhood, right? Or for like my stealth archer assassin, doesn't make sense for her to be in the companions. Whereas this character, Vanya, her theme is around, she is, you know, searching for secrets to black magic and dark magic and blood magic and all that shit. And she's trying to, she's also a noble, so this is her first time out on her own. So it would make sense that she wants to kind of try everything and explore. She wants to gather as much knowledge as she can. And working for the museum seems like a good way to do that. So why not? You know, she seems like it would make sense for her to do all this shit. So let's heal Lydia up. I do think next level up we are gonna get more in, what's it called? Oh god, I don't want her to die, bro. I do not want her to die. Here. How did I just took this. There we go. Live!
Now you'll pay.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Alright. There we go. Restoration. Yeah, I need more restoration.
I can't believe I was this close to being killed.
But you did it! There you go, bestie. Alright, can you hold some shit for me? Let's give you some shit, because I'm out of my shit. Does it remember agreeing to get blood drawn magic? That's what I need to find. Yeah, I need to find that fucking rank, because my whole character's thing is she's investigating, and she wants to learn more about blood magic and do research into blood magic, but like, she's not an actual vampire. That's her whole thing. I am hoping, low-key, that tonight I can finish chapter 1 of my OC, like my lore and stuff like that. Not for my VTuber, but for my characters. Although they are connected, how will be explained later. There we go. Exotic Ruby Sapphire. Cool. Alright. We now have it, and ooh, word wall. Okay. Don't mind if I fucking do. Glory Champion Spirit. What's that? You are a champion. Ah, thanks. Deal more damage in all areas while taking less damage from all sources. Cool. Okay. Well, we'll need to get. Do I have Dragon Souls? I have 1 Dragon Soul, so let's unlock that actually, because that sounds like a pretty cool fucking shout. Is there anything else to explore? Well, it looks like there's a lot more to explore over here. So let's check out the rest of the grotto, I guess. But yeah, so if you're interested, if you want to see some of my writing about my OC and you're subbed, I have posted the unfinished first chapter of Vanya's story and some of the lore around her. And it'll be up for everybody in the Discord once it is done and finished editing. I'm done editing it. Yeah, is there anything under the ship that's cool? Gotta be careful, because I don't want to accidentally drown, but, you know. Doesn't look like there's a ton, but... Here, I gotta get out of here, though. I'm gonna fucking drown. Hold up. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Ah! Oh, fuck! Fuck, 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 fuck! No! No, 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 no! Oh, fuck. I almost drowned to death. Okay, whoopsie! Well, we didn't, and that's what matters. But yeah, the world of my OCs, because I am writing, like, it's gonna be a whole, like, tabletop RPG setting once I'm done, is the same as my VTuber lore. So it'll be, everything will kind of come together. I'm really excited for it to pan out. Oh god, look at that. I don't know why, but her, like, on the water looks really fucking cool to me. Kaji from a royal family who went to study conjuration and dark magic and to ravage on Imperials. Oh, fuck yeah! Get his ass! I love characters like that. I love the lore. From Legacy of the Dragon, Dragonborn only works for your vampire? Shit. That's the thing is, we might have to become a vampire. We probably are gonna have to become a vampire. But I were to play Skyrim on Legendary and Survival and make it as hard as possible. Argonians are a very good race. I don't think I've ever actually played an Argonian. Yes, I am stuck. I don't know how to get up. But, at one point, I am going to do a beast character at one point. The most I've ever done is I have done an orc playthrough with my orc Rasha, who I love very much. She's one of my favorite OCs ever. But I haven't done anything crazier than that, you know? And I think part of that's because I like making characters I can see myself in. And I can't really see myself in a lizard. And maybe that makes me a coward. That's okay. But I do want to try one at some point. So how do I get out of here? Because am I just stuck? Am I just drowned? Although there is a landing over there. Let me see. God damn it. Okay. Can I get up through there? Because that's where I fell down. I might have to just fucking swim all the way over there. I think I fucked myself. God damn it. Okay, can I please? Thank you. Okay, there we go. The months of kind of maybe not trying, I finally figured out what's wrong with my Skyrim saves and how to fix it. That's awesome! I apparently have been dealing with what's known as false corruptive saves. Oh, I've heard of that. No, you're not stupid. That is, bestie, that is part of the Skyrim modding experience. If you don't think for a second like, oh my god, I'm a dumbass, that is literally part of the experience. The reason I had to replay everything from this save at one point is literally because I had too many plugins and I didn't realize I had too many plugins. Like, I had installed too many mods. I didn't know how to make them. Wait, what the fuck? Hello? Lydia? Lydia, what is this? Lydia? What the fuck is coming out of her coochie? Explain, Lydia! Where did you learn to do that? I think that ghost is nude. Why does that ghost have her pussy out? I learn more and more about you every day. Okay, alright, well Lydia does conjuration too. That's cool. That's fun. Listen, we haven't had naked ghosts on this stream in a while. But, you know, they're back, I guess. That's awesome. Yippee. You know, I'm never gonna say no to ghost tits, okay? It took me so long to figure it out. No, I feel that. Like, when we did the first episode of the Vanya playthrough, it crashed immediately and we couldn't fix it, but it was because I had too many plugins. So I literally played through everything we did that first episode again, and after I fixed it. Because I love this playthrough a lot, so I was like, you know, you're her idol. She wants to be like you. Aww. Oh, Lydia. Lydia's growing on me, okay? Lydia is growing on me. I wish there was a way to romance her that wasn't the Skyrim, the Amorous Adventures mod. I don't really like the Amorous Adventures mod. Like, I get that it's meant to be just a horny, sexy mod. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing with being a little bit of the horny, sexy. That's fine. You know, I'm not gonna judge. But, like, I want, like, a cute playthrough with her. You know what I mean? I want to, like, give her flowers and shit. I want, like, some Dragon Age type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for. And we don't really get that with Amorous Adventures. Amorous Adventures is like, fuck me, Lydia! And then she's like, oh my god, ew, no. Which, like, understandable. And then she's mildly homophobic, but... But she is kind of just my backpack right now. So, you know. Let's see. Is there anything else over here? I think we're just, are we done? Like, have we cleared this area? Yeah, okay. What? God damn it, I accidentally triggered my virginity again. Whoopsie. Here, can I just, whee. Okay, cool. Let's see. Bunch of Amberers and Megan, Sally, her and her sister were the only ones left of her clan. Oh, damn. The monk music do be snapping. Hell yeah. Hi, Stevie. Welcome in, gamer. But that's a cool story, Harlequin. I dig it. I love when people make up, like, big, like, elaborate stories for their OCs. I think it's awesome. So, I love that shit. Okay. So, we have the sapphire. Can we fast travel to go give that back? Because I'll be honest, well, let me see. Where is he? Yeah, it's by Amber Creek. Okay. Let me see. I do want to try the camping stuff, so let's try that out. You cannot build a campsite here. Okay, well, I guess we're not trying that out. Let's go give him the sapphire thing, though. So we'll just fast travel to Amber Creek and give him the sapphire. And now he'll be able to give his wife a present, and it'll be very nice, okay? For Faust, corrupt save, edit your... I don't know why that got censored. I'm not sure, but that's really funny. Set Max Studio 8192. Interesting, okay. Let's see. Bring Sapphire to Rengar. Keep thinking of Rengar like League of Legends. How much more insane the game is on PC with the DLCs and stuff you can add. It's awesome. I love this I love this mod list. I love this game. Hey, Henrik needs you to make a necklace for him with this ruby.
Ah, yes. He
Engine
sent me a
fixes,
letter
okay.
regarding this issue. I can remake the necklace, but I need something else.
What?
Part of what makes my craft so fine is the use of fine gold.
God damn it.
It's purified when smelted, and gives things that extra shine. Wolf brings me shipments of it from Skyrim. Then it's brought here by a trade wagon. Unfortunately, my latest shipment never arrived.
What the fuck?
I suspect the bandits at Orgrim's Tower are to blame. Go to the tower, at the edge of the cliffs, just east of here.
Who followed out Lydia allows you to romance Lydia without making it her entire personality? See, that's the thing, is I'm not sure if that would,
and I can make you
I feel like that would probably clash with Amorous Adventures. And I'm always, like, hesitant to take stuff out with this mod pack because a lot of times there's stuff that has, like, dependencies.
I'll get my
and I
other
don't realize it until I
materials
fucked it up. But if that works, I'll look into that because that sounds like a good idea. I tried that, but it didn't work. Oh, I'm sorry, gamer. I do think we are going to call it here for tonight. This seems like a good place to stop. So we will get the fine gold next time and get the necklace. But we did a lot of exploring. R curse, how does that sound? So for some reason, a lot of people call me mommy, and I don't know why. And people want me to do the Ara thing. Which if you don't know what that is, just Google it. There's a bunch of VTubers, they do it in like a voice that's like very mommy-dommy type shit. I will do it, but I will just scream. It's not going to be sexy. It'll be an ara, but it's not going to be what you want. So that's how that works. But thank you, gamers, so much for hanging out, for coming out and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun. We got a lot done today. I know the ADHD meds were not had today, so that made things a little bit... How cursed is it? I think one time I just threw up in my mouth and did it. So, like, it gets pretty cursed. One time I did it with like a metal scream. That was fun. But anyway, we are going to end for today. If you enjoyed this stream, please consider joining the Discord. Like I said, I'm going to be posting stories and stuff about my characters. I'm working on my novel, finally, Jesus. And I also, if you want to see previous episodes of this playthrough and all stuff like that, that is there. If you want to follow me on social media, I got that and that. And I think that's about it. Did I post the Discord link? Here's the Discord. There we go. But we are gonna probably, I don't know if we're gonna do it next week, but the week after we might do another hentai game community night. Basically, I play a hentai game and it's really stupid. And it's fun, so we might be doing that in Discord, but I'll also be posting chapters and stuff of my stories in there. Like I said, if you're subbed, you can read it now, even though it's not done and it's not edited. So it's not in its final state, keep that in mind. But yeah, alright. Gamers, we are going to end for the day. Let's see who we're gonna raid. Let's see. We will raid, oh, we'll raid Whitey. She was in here earlier. She's playing Lethal Company. She's one of my first ever voice students. I taught her how to sing way back when. She's very chill. Let's go, I'm making sure I spell her name right. And did I do that right? Perfect. Okay. I saw her little picture and I was like, did I do that right? Oh, fuck. Our raid message for tonight is going to be, let's make our raid message. We'll just keep it basic. Skyrim raid. And if you're subbed, please use the gun emote. Because I like the gun emote an awful lot. So we'll use that one. And I will catch you guys on Wednesday. We will be back. Yes, Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday. Okay. I forgot when fucking, I forgot when Thanksgiving was. We'll be back Wednesday, with more, Cyberpunk. We're coming back to Cyberpunk on Wednesday. And then, hopefully, once after, we aren't going back to Friday streams quite yet, but I'm hoping after I quit my job, and I'm full-time work from home, we'll be able to do Friday streams again. But yeah. All right. Bye-bye, gamers.